WABU TV presents the 68 Sports Game of the Week. Tonight, from Walter Brown Arena, it's the North Dakota Sioux versus the Boston University Terriers. Tonight,
it's a pleasure to be here at Walter Brown Arena. The 1995-96 college hockey season about to kick off for Boston University and for North Dakota. And of course, it's a very special night for non-hockey reasons too. And Mike Ruzioni, normally the game is the most important thing, but for the fans here tonight, the pregame ceremony is very important too. The players, though, have got to be able to calm down immediately from that right away and get into playing the season. How is this team mentally prepared for this season, and as far as putting last year away?
Well, I think, once these banners go up, last year is put away. I think these players realize that last year is last year. And I know that's one thing that Jack Parker has stressed to this team throughout the beginning of this season, is that what we did last year doesn't do us any good this year, and that this year's team has to go out and work just as hard as last year's team did in order to accomplish these things that we're about to see now.
The third member of our 68 Sports Hockey broadcast team is right down at center ice at ringside, Alita Haytayan. Alita?
Down here on the ice, we have some rowdy fans and some eager hockey players. I talked to a couple of the guys before they get onto the ice tonight. They said that they have practiced enough and they are ready for this game. The looks on their faces when they got out there tonight was intense.
All right, Alita, thanks very much. We'll be checking back with you throughout the course of the game. They're about to raise the fourth national championship banner for the Boston University Hockey Terriers here at Walter Brown Arena. Let's go down to ice level and the official public address announcer of Walter Brown Arena, Jim Pryor.
And starting in goal, a junior from Bemidji, Minnesota, number 35, Toby Kuhlbell-Gabard. And their head coach, Mr. Dean Blaze, and the remaining University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux players. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the home team. The 1995 defending Triple Crown national champions, your Terriers of Boston University. Starting at left wing, a senior from Burlington, Massachusetts, and captain of the Terriers, number 17, G. Pandolfo. At center, a senior from Bristol, Connecticut, number 11, Bob LaChance. At right wing, a freshman from Dorchester, Mass, number 19, Brendan Walsh. At left defense, a sophomore from Belmont, Mass, number 4, Chris Kelleher. At right defense, a senior from Sudbury, Mass, number 5, Doug Wood. Starting in goal, a sophomore from Hanover, Mass, number 30, Tom Noble. And their head coach, Mr. Jack Parker, and the remaining Boston University Terrier players. Ladies and gentlemen, we call your attention to the corners of Walter Brown Arena, where we will raise the banners representing the Beanpot, Hockey East, and the NCAA Division I championships, won by the 94-95 Boston University hockey team. Raising the Beanpot banner will be Mr. Ken Rauch and Mr. Rich Brennan, the fathers of the 1995 Beanpot most valuable players, Ken Rauch and Rich Brennan. Raising the Hockey East banner will be Mr. Paul Joubert, father of last year's captain, Jacques Joubert, and Mr. Bob Prendergast. And raising the NCAA Division I Championship banner will be Mr. Gary Strickler, Athletic Director of Boston University, and Mr. Blaise McDonald, Associate Head Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the B-Part, Hockey East, and NCAA Division I Championship banners. The on-ice officials for tonight's game is a song by Hockey East.
It's great when you're able to share your victory with so many great fans, and that's what was just done.
We're going to take a timeout. We will be back with the opening face-off between Boston University and the North Dakota Fighting Sioux after this timeout. Don't go away.
Barbara Green, singing voice of Terrier hockey, accompanied by the Boston.
The defending national champion Boston University Terriers set to face off the new season. Tonight, welcoming the North Dakota Fighting Sioux, who've actually already played a couple of games this year. They swept a series at Marquette, Michigan against Northern Michigan last weekend, so they're 2-0. They're spending this weekend in Boston. They'll play at Northeastern tomorrow night. And Mike, you mentioned this is a new season. It's a new team. There are some new players and new guys who have to step into new roles, and one of those is the captain, Jay Pandolfo.
Yeah, I think Jay Pandolfo is going to be very, very important to this particular hockey team. You know, Pandolfo missed most of last season with a lot of nagging injuries. He is a very talented, skilled player, but a very well-respected. First time in the history of Boston University that one player got every single vote for captain, so you can see the leadership qualities that that man has.
A unanimous pick.
Unanimous.
Almost like he was running uncontested, huh?
He is a great player and a great kid, and I think when you look at the two teams, you look at how important Pandolfo is to Boston University. Now you go to the other end and you look at the Fighting Sioux and how important Nick Numenko is for this team. I asked Blaise McDonald a little bit about Numenko, and he said to me, he's their Ray Bourque. He controls the play. He plays all the time. He's their go-to guy, especially on the power play. Real skilled, real talented, and a real leader.
We are set to go for the beginning of the new season. Teeter Wynn will take the opening face-off for North Dakota against Bob LaChance for BU, and the Terriers will control. It's Chris Kelleher and Doug Wood on defense for the Terriers, with LaChance at center, Jay Pandolfo at left wing, and Brendan Walsh, the 20-year-old freshman out of Catholic Memorial, at right wing. And a quick look at tonight's goaltenders, Toby Kavalavod, who's played a lot of games for North Dakota.
And they told us to call him Toby. Don't get into Kavalavod. See already, Kavalavod. Coach Dean Blaise said just call him Toby, and there's Tom Noble at the other end. Goaltender in last year's national championship game. Great skill, great leader.
Winning a national championship with a freshman in goal. The odds have to be against that. North Dakota trying to pressure off the faceoff now. Corey Johnson in the corner, loses for Walsh, and he'll start it out for the Terriers. Walsh, Pandolfo, and LaChance, again the starting forward unit for BU, and the quick turnover by Noble sets up a scoring chance, but the puck hops over the stick of Corey Johnson. Dangerous play there by Noble right off the start.
Doug, one thing to look for with North Dakota, they're a very aggressive forechecking team. They're not going to sit back. They're going to send two men at all times, something the Terriers have to be aware of.
This North Dakota team, too, Mike, is a lot more of a finesse team and speed team than they were years ago.
That's one thing that Dean Blaise has tried to do with this team. As you mentioned, years ago, they were a big, strong, physical team. This team relies on skating.
This is Jeff Kelty, sophomore defenseman out of Framingham and Catholic Memorial, playing it down into the North Dakota zone. Curtis Murphy trying to wheel it out. He gets checked by Mike Greer and by Chris O'Sullivan. This is the big line for BU. Greer, O'Sullivan, and Sean Bates, and they immediately cause havoc in the North Dakota zone. Kept in beautifully by Coleman. Back into the middle to Greer, and he just misfired.
That was a very nice play by John Coleman.
Back the other way, Bill True in the center for North Dakota. The drop pass and the beautiful stop off Matt Henderson by Tom Noble, and the Terriers flip it the other way. O'Sullivan drops for Bates. Bates shooting through a screen. The rebound score! Chris O'Sullivan, a minute 45 into the new season. And the Final Four MVP from April has the first goal of the year.
I'll tell you, the goal was scored because of the save that Tommy Noble made down the other end. Noble with a great pad save started the breakout for Boston University. Here's the look after the save. Watch O'Sullivan, little dilly-dally there. But he got nice move by Bates. The shot goes right off O'Sullivan. One thing O'Sullivan did last year, and I guess great goal scorers do this, he's always around the net. There is kind of a bizarre bounce. Bates shoots it on net, hits O'Sullivan, and comes right to him. You can see O'Sullivan getting tended to a little. That shot hit him right in the middle, but he was there to corral the rebound and put it in.
Saw it down in the dark hallway there next to the BU bench. Jack Parker talking with Chris O'Sullivan after the goal, and we have a BU player down in the corner. And Alita Hetayan is down near the BU bench. Alita?
Yes, Chris Sullivan just came off the bench, and Jack Parker took him off into the side. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he didn't look happy about the play for some reason. I'll see what I can find out for you, Doug.
All right, Alita. In the meantime, the concern for the injured player for the Terriers is it's Travis Roy, the freshman from Yarmouth, Maine. And let's see, Mike, if we can pick up exactly what happened to Travis.
Hit by Travis Roy. I don't know. He hit his head right in the boards.
Wow.
I'll tell you what he is. He's knocked out. He is out cold. Travis Roy on the hit his head against the boards.
While they check on Travis Roy, we will take a timeout. The Terriers with a quick 1-0 lead on North Dakota. We'll be back on 68 Sports. The attention for Travis Roy, the 20-year-old freshman out of Yarmouth, Maine, and Tabor Academy, taking his very first shift here at Boston University, Mike, and he went into the corner to try and throw a check and appeared to hit his head right on the top of the dasher where it meets the glass. And obviously a lot of concern all around the arena for Travis Roy, a guy that is pretty highly thought of by this coaching staff. He was going to get some time on special teams and so on.
Well, Travis goes in and he throws the shoulder check, and I'm not sure if his neck and head both collided at the same time into the boards. As you can see the concern on Jack Parker's face. At some point maybe we can get a look at that, but Travis being aggressive, you know, your first shift, in you go. Now let's take another look at it. Now watch Travis Roy coming into the picture, and he's going to try to throw a good hit on him here. He finishes his check. Now watch as he collides in through the boards. Watch his head. Well, you can't see that much of it, but his head, and you can see that
he was out by the time he fell to the ice, it appeared.
He's not moved.
Mitch Vig was the North Dakota defenseman who absorbed the check from Roy right before he crashed into the boards. The Terriers and North Dakota, interesting, Mike, both of these teams have had national championship success in Providence. BU has won 2 there. North Dakota has won 2. As you see, the Fighting Sioux lead the series, but the Terriers have won the last 3 meetings. This is the first time in almost 2 years these two teams have played. The last meeting, October 23rd, 1993, here at Walter Brown Arena. And actually, the last time North Dakota was in the NCAA tournament, that was also here for a first-round series, a series that BU lost the first game and then came back to win the next 2. They brought the stretcher out now into that corner to try and attend to Travis Roy. And clearly the concern here, Mike, is you can see the hand motions of the various medical folks out there. They're trying to figure out how they can move him without disturbing anything.
Well, you see they have the neck collar on and try to get a neck brace, and obviously this is of great concern anytime you're dealing with a head or a neck injury or collision like that. As I said, Travis has not moved. This is something that you just hate to see. I'm just trying to see if we can get some kind of movement from any part of his body, and as I said earlier, we haven't been able to see any of that.
We will take a timeout, and as they continue to attend to Travis Roy, we will sneak away for a quick break and be back to Walter Brown Arena here on 68 Sports. We're back at Walter Brown Arena, and they have just now, seconds ago, finished rolling freshman Travis Roy, left winger out of Yarmouth, Maine, onto that stretcher. And what a dramatic and emotional night in both directions it has already been here at Walter Brown Arena, Mike. The ceremony, the drama of the first goal by Chris O'Sullivan, and now that really worrisome picture right on your screen right now.
This is a very, very quiet Brown Arena right now.
As noisy as it was a couple of minutes ago, it's that quiet now.
Again, the thing that concerns me is the fact that we have not seen Travis moving any part of his arms or legs or anything. And that was an area where you head and neck kind of both into the boards at the same time. And you see the concern of not only the doctors and trainers, but the Boston University staff and Jack Parker coming out in the ice right now. That's Travis's dad.
Jack Parker, you see there, has moved down into the Zamboni runway across the same end of the ice where Travis is down.
That's Mr. Roy right there. Travis, 5'11", 166-pound freshman out of Yarmouth, Maine.
One of the
promising.
Yeah, one of the
players.
7 incoming freshmen to this year's Terrier team to make up for the loss of the 7 graduating seniors a year ago. And Travis Roy, a guy that obviously being on the ice less than 2 minutes into the first game of the year, highly thought of by the coaching staff.
His first shift, and again, you know, you get that adrenaline going, and Travis going in to make a nice play and kind of just brushed off the man when he tried to check him. And again, after he brushed off him, he went into the board's head and kind of head and neck first. It seemed like his head was turned to the side a little, and you see Mr. Roy going off the ice. A former All-American at University of Vermont. Now
well, as a parent, certainly, Mike, there probably can be no more devastating a moment than this, to come to a game, especially a game as big as this one, an emotional night, and have to watch and worry about a moment like this. He's the talk of the town, and he's waiting to talk to you. He's Chuck Adler, and the name of the show is Adler Online. He'll be up right after tonight's game here on WABU TV, Channel 68. We are at Walter Brown Arena. If you're just joining us, Doug Brown along with Mike Eruzione, Alita Hetayan down at ringside. The opening night of the new college hockey season for the Boston University Terriers, having just raised their Beanpot, Hockey East, and National Championship banners prior to the start of tonight's game. They get an early goal, 1:45 into the game, from Chris O'Sullivan, the Final Four of last year's MVP in Providence. Final Four MVP of last year's tournament in Providence. And just 11 seconds after the goal is scored off the ensuing faceoff, Travis Roy crashing headfirst into the boards to the left of Toby Kovalovog in the North Dakota net. And as you can see, lots of folks helping to attend to Travis.
trying to get a little look at, as again I mentioned, you see Mr. Roy there. And on the other side, the parents
and the gentleman in the white shirt with his back to you a moment ago was the head hockey trainer for BU, Larry Venice, helping to supervise the procedures down there.
in the corner there. That's Travis's mom, Coach Parker, and a friend of the Royce family, Jack O'Brien, who's down here from Yarmouth, Maine. Really one of the reasons Travis ended up here at BU. Jack was very influential in sending him our way, and it's hopefully, again, something that's not as serious as we're seeing it right now.
Well, you can obviously see the concern on Travis Roy's teammates' faces as well as we scan around the arena. Alita Hetayan is right down by the BU bench. Alita.
Yes, Doug. Doug Wood just came over to the bench and told the BU players that Travis is talking, but he hasn't been moving at all. So that's all the word is down here on the bench. The players are standing by to hear the same word that we're standing by for.
All right, Alita, thanks very much. Boy, you know, there's already been one rather remarkable comeback from injury story on this BU hockey team, Mike. J.P. McCursey, after the auto accident, he was on a bicycle, but an auto accident about 18 months or so ago, and he's made a remarkable recovery to be involved with the team and at practice every day. And the team went through the emotional ringer because of that incident, and now watching this once again has to bring back some rather frightening memories.
Well, you know, these kids play, and they play hard, and they've played all their lives. You know, they're still young kids, especially Travis being, you know, a young freshman. And you know, when you're out there playing that things like this can happen. You never expect it because, you know, you're invincible. And again, I think the situation here is that hopefully that you know, Travis will regain some movement and move on from there. Hockey now becomes a very secondary part of what's happening right here.
The other players, particularly the BU players, trying to do two things at once: stay loose and also keep their heads partially turned to the other end of the ice. Most of the BU players have moved down to the opposite end of the arena, down near Tom Noble in the BU goal, but Jay Pandolfo and Bob LaChance and Doug Wood, as you can see, are looking in on Travis Roy. We will take a timeout and be back to Walter Brown Arena in a moment. This is BU Hockey on 68 Sports. Boston University head coach Jack Parker now moving on to the ice again to check on the fallen Travis Roy in the corner. Again, this play happened just 11 seconds after the first BU goal of the season. Chris O'Sullivan electrifying this crowd, which needed no extra help after the opening ceremonies tonight, and O'Sullivan wrapping in a shot behind a beaten Toby Kovalovog in the North Dakota net. Sean Bates with the assist at 1:45, and just 11 seconds later at 1:56, play stopped for Travis Roy, who took that headfirst fall into the boards off to the left of Kovalovog. Again, Roy, just a freshman and taking his very first shift. I believe he just stepped on the ice after the goal, Mike.
He had just come on the ice and was following the puck into the zone. And again, you know, trying to throw the check on a North Dakota player, and he just kind of glanced off him a little. And again, it was not so much, from my angle, did not look like it was head on. It looked more like it was just kind of turned to the side. And he's up onto the stretch, or he's onto the stretch now. I shouldn't say he's up, because again, the thing that worries me so much about it is we have not seen any movement yet from Travis's arms or legs. And hopefully, again,
Oh, the crowd is up here now and saluting Travis Roy. As you heard Alita say a moment ago, Doug Wood reporting over to the players on the bench that Travis was talking, but he was not moving.
trying to get a look, Doug, to see if we can see any.
Now there are
so many people around, if we can see any movement at all.
How quickly the emotions and flow of the crowd can change. This place was just electric and rocking about 20 minutes ago, and
it was,
you see the concern now.
It was a legitimate play. I mean, there was no cheap shot or anything like that. It just it's an aggressive game, and Travis going in and making a play that he's made many, many times in his life. There you see family members, concern that they have.
Gary Strickler, Boston University Athletic Director, off to the right of your screen. Again, they're all gathered in the Zamboni runway down at that end of the rink where Travis went into the boards. Again, he is up on the stretcher, and you see Larry Venice on the right of the screen. Ty looks like he's trying to have a little conversation with Travis here to find out exactly what he is feeling at this moment.
You can almost see the conversation. You see Travis talking back to Larry. And I mean, that's a great sign right there. At least we see some talking.
Well, we should mention too, Mike, that, and we can certainly try and be optimistic and hope for the best in this situation. Always every precaution is taken in this situation if a possible concussion or neck or head injury occurs, to keep the movement of the head and neck area to a minimum, even if there is feeling in that area. So obviously everybody here hoping for the best, and that Travis Roy will come out of this with a favorable prognosis.
We will try to find out as soon as we can what the situation is as of right now. But as you mentioned, Doug, a crowd in a frenzy to start this hockey game with the banner raising and a goal by Boston University early, but very, very quiet and very subdued right now after that incident.
Referees are allowing the players just a couple of minutes here to collect themselves and get out for a quick skate before we resume the game. This has been a significant delay, probably about 15-16 minutes, as we get a look at what happened a year ago. And of course, BU and Maine jockeyed for position atop Hockey East all last season, and then what do you know, they wound up meeting in Providence for the national championship, the first time in Hockey East history that has happened. Kind of a crowning moment for the league. And now as play resumes, North Dakota trying to fire in, but the Terriers clear it at center ice, and Pandolfo across the line gets bumped, trying to feed it to Brendan Walsh, and the puck goes loose in the corner for Dane Litke. Litke behind the net being forechecked by a couple of Terriers. Walsh comes up with it behind the net. Pandolfo trying to feed it for LaChance out front. It comes out front again near Kovalovog. He can't get it. Now LaChance with it. Up front, Pandolfo can't get a stick down. And coming the other way, Corey Johnson for North Dakota. For Teeter Wynn, now back to Johnson, and they're stopped at the BU line. And the Terriers immediately turn the Sioux back the other way. LaChance across the North Dakota line. Bearing in the centering pass. Walsh couldn't get his stick down, and it goes harmlessly behind the North Dakota net, and the Sioux will ice it. The faceoff will come back to the North Dakota end. 2 minutes and 50 seconds played here in the first period. BU leading it 1-0. Jack Parker on the BU bench. You saw behind him for a moment Blaze McDonald, the associate head coach who helped raise the national championship banner prior to the start of tonight's game. 7 more wins for number 500 for the coach.
That's just a sign that he's been coaching a long time.
And if you're wondering how he feels about it, I can tell you, he's not thinking about it. I feel sure about that. Mitch Vig trying to get it across the Terrier line, but BU turns the other way. Bates trying to rush along with Greer. That's turned back. And now Bill True across the BU line for Brian Zerke. And he's immediately checked. Terriers playing it very, very close defensively in this first period after that early turnover by Tom Noble that nearly led to a goal. Now the feed ahead for Greer, bearing in alone, and he's stopped right along the ice by Kovalovog.
Yeah, looked like Mike Greer trying to go 5-hole there, had no room.
O'Sullivan moving into the circle, and the Terriers just pouring on the attack here. Jeff Kelty feeds it right back in as the Terriers go for a quick change on the fly. Mitch Vig trying to avoid the check from Pandolfo, and the puck goes back to BU. John Coleman flips it up to the neutral zone. Mitch Vig trying to get it ahead for Ian Calais, highly regarded freshman wearing number 10 for North Dakota. They expect some big things out of him. Across the North Dakota line, the delayed offside waved off, and Mike Sylvia flips it back in. Travis Roy's line mates are on the ice right now, Mike Sylvia and Chris Drury, and they are joined by Jay Pandolfo playing the left wing in place of Roy. In front, the centering pass blocked by the BU defense, and back the other way comes Chris Drury. For Sylvia, some clever stick work across the North Dakota line. Pandolfo flips it in deeper. Back forward is Ian Calais, number 10. Again, that highly touted freshman out of White Court, Alberta. North Dakota, as you might expect, doing a lot of recruiting in the Western Canada area, and Calais breaking for the net, trying to take the pass. The puck loose in the crease and finally covered. Calais, the freshman whom we were just talking about, took a great pass from Kevin Hoogstein right out in front of Tom Noble, but couldn't lift it.
And a nice little shift around Shane Johnson in order to create that. Watch this play right here by Hookstein. Gets it across, number 10, Calais. You know, one thing that Dean Blaze said about Calais is he's not a great skater. There's a shift I was talking about. Boy, that's a pretty nifty move right there. But one thing he was saying about Calais, he's not a great skater, but you turn around and when the game's over, he's got a couple of goals. He's always around the net. I compared him a little to Joey Mullen. People said Mullen wasn't a great skater, but he always scored goals, and I think that's what we get out of Calais.
How about Calais' numbers last year for the Langley Thunder in the British Columbia Junior Hockey League? 56 goals and 64 assists.
That's a goal scorer.
Back the other way, coming the Terriers, Matt Wright. Out there along with Bill Pierce and John Hines. The pass coming all the way back to the right point, and back to chase is Shane Johnson.
Doug, one thing that Dean Blaze, North Dakota team, does not want to do, and Dean said this, was get into a shootout with Boston University. And right now, the game's going at a nice pace for them.
Behind the net, Hines gets bumped off the play. Pierce into forecheck. Hines, a sophomore from Warwick, Rhode Island, played only 7 games a year ago, but getting a chance right away here in the opener. The freshman line out there now for North Dakota. Aside from Calais, they have 3 other freshmen dressed tonight. They're all on the same line, and they're out there now.
That's great confidence that Dean Blaze shows in his team. A situation like this, playing a line of 3 freshmen.
Kevin Rapana, number 23, the defenseman, has it taken away. O'Sullivan near the net, flips it out front. Bates can't get a stick on it. Now Greer does. His shot is blocked, and Kovalovog comes out to field the pop fly. And Greer takes a little bump from Mitch Vig after the whistle. This is a new rule in college hockey this year, Mike. They're going to try and really crack down, much like college football has done, on taunting and unsportsmanlike conduct, especially after plays have ended, like right there.
Well, it's interesting you're seeing Mike Greer, and I believe that's number 23, Kevin Rapana. Now, Rapana, if you saw after the play, Greer was pointing to his shoulder. In the sports festival, Mike Greer hit Rapana and separated his shoulder.
Wow.
So Greer maybe with a little intimidation himself, or a little taunting. Here's some nifty plays by O'Sullivan. Greer with the shot. It's a nice play by Rapana. See him go down and make the save, and a nice stop by the goal. Now watch a little action. There's the hit there.
Yep.
Now as it runs a little further, Greer gets hit from behind, but as it runs further, Greer's pointing to his shoulder. See him point to his shoulder like that? He's reminding Rapana about the fact that the last time they met, you ended up in the short end.
And the penalty to Rapana, BU on the power play, and immediately the Sioux clear after the first BU chance. Kevin Rapana, 2 minutes for hitting after the whistle. And the Terriers on their first power play of the season. This is where they were so devastating a year ago, Mike. 25%, number 3 in the country on the power play. It's Bob LaChance with Chris Drury and Jay Pandolfo out front. Chris Kelleher and Doug Wood on the points. This is Pandolfo. Now for Wood. Across for Kelleher. And right on goes the shot. Kovalovog down low to make the stop. Through traffic. Kelleher again as the Terriers reset. In front, Drury up looking for a tip, and it's covered by Kovalovog. The Fighting Sioux there, Mike, in a diamond formation instead of a normal box, it appeared. Let's get downstairs for a quick update with Alita Hetayan.
First power player of the game down here. I talked to the coach earlier today, and he said that he's not sure exactly who he's going to stick with for these 5 players in the power play. So throughout the game, we may see these 5 players change on and off. So keep your eye on who's out there. Back to you.
Yeah, Alita, I would say the power play and penalty killing situations are very fluid here in the early part of the season.
Well, one thing you might see is, like, here you have Chris O'Sullivan on the front playing forward.
Coleman takes the shot from the point, and that's loose before Kovalovog dives on it.
See the situation here. They've got Mike Greer in front of the net, and they have O'Sullivan off to the side. Don't be surprised at point during the year you see O'Sullivan back as a point man on the power play. He's so clever. Chris can play forward or defense. There's a nice setup. There's a nice job by Coleman. Get the puck, shoot it. Look at the big guy in front of the net for a screen and a tip. That's a nice job by Kovalovog in order to make that save. Anytime you got somebody 235 pounds in front of you with hockey equipment on screening you, it's a difficult save, and that was a nice one.
Terriers try and keep it in, but the Fighting Sioux flip it out of the zone. Back to get it. John Coleman, chased by Bill True. Brings it up through the middle. It deflects off Bates' stick. And now O'Sullivan gets it right back. O'Sullivan with a great move across the line to Greer. Back out front. And Bates looking for a tip-in, and Kovalovog, who's been very busy so far, covers again.
And those are the little things that Chris O'Sullivan does so well. A nice little shift, gets the puck over to Greer. Greer looking for Bates. Watch O'Sullivan. He makes things look so easy. He gets the puck over to Greer. Watch Bates coming into the picture right there. That's the pass Greer's trying to make, a difficult pass for Mike Greer to try to feed it through 2 sets of feet like that, but you could see what he was looking at and what he was trying to do.
As you look at Mike Greer, you were talking earlier, Mike, about the history between Rapana and Greer. We get back to the play here for a minute. We'll finish that story in a moment. LeChance flips in, and Kovalovog will cover again, very cleverly allowing me to finish my story. Which is, you would think that even though these two teams are separated by hundreds and hundreds of miles, that they might not know each other very well, but so many of these guys now play together and against each other in amateur competition, international or national competition. They really do know a lot of these guys.
You have your select 16 teams, you have your all-star teams. They know who they are.
Corey Johnson trying to break in, and he's broken up from behind by Chris Kelleher. Behind the net, it's Kelleher. Chris Kelleher for BU, flips it up the ring boards for Jay Pandolfo, cuts to the middle, and his shot will go into the net. The screen protecting the crowd behind the North Dakota goal. Well, if you could have a kind of a chart right now as to where the puck has been for most of this almost first 8 minutes of this first period, it has been, I would say, 5 to 6 minutes of it has been down at the North Dakota end.
Right, it's been at the North Dakota end, but North Dakota playing a nice pace game for them. They're playing good team defense. They're not allowing any second shots whatsoever. Kovalovog has had good vision on all shots. Not many people have been in front. He's made the initial save. He's covered up the rebound. The pace of the game is a good pace for North Dakota. Some whistles here and there. They're playing good, solid defensive hockey, something they want to do. As I mentioned earlier, they cannot win a shootout here, so they have to play solid team defense, and they're doing that right now.
The power play now over, so North Dakota back at full strength, but the Terriers control as Matt Wright flips it back to Dan Ronan. And yes, that is a familiar name to Terrier fans. Dan is the cousin of Ed Ronan. Played for the Terriers in the late 80s and early 90s. And Matt Wright causing havoc, as he so often does, in the offensive zone on the steal. And he gets it to Bill Pierce. Flips it across the slot. Ronan can't get to it. And Shane Johnson unable to keep it in at the blue line. The faceoff will come outside the North Dakota zone.
That's a penalty on Matt Wright. I'm not sure if it's going to be called a punch or an elbow. Matt Wright doing a real nice job of forechecking. Then he kind of gets chasing the puck a little, runs right into North Dakota player in front of the net and gives him a little shove. Take a look at it here. Here's Billy Pierce going to try to throw it out front. Right there.
Stick up, yep.
You see, Matty Wright just kind of, Matty's in a situation like that, you have to go around the guy. You can't go through him if he doesn't have the puck. So they're going to call it a roughing. I think you could have called it that. You could have called it an elbow or high sticking. Either way, I think a situation like that, Matt Wright's got to go around the player, not through him. The player did not have the puck. That was a good call by the official.
First power play chance for North Dakota. They were just 2 for 13 on the power play last weekend against Northern Michigan. And that was even in spite of the fact that they outshot Northern Michigan by a wide margin in those 2 wins last weekend, but they didn't have much success on the power play. Setting up in the zone now, and we'll set the power play for you. Matani in front, the shot blocked by Noble, and Teeter Wynn looking for the rebound. Now they go down low to Ryan Johnson. Back up to the point, kept in by Curtis Murphy, but he absorbs a hit by guess who?
Not only a great hit by Gray, but let's go back to the save by Noble. Tommy hasn't seen a lot of shots early in this hockey game. For the last 4 or 5 minutes, the play has been down the other end, and all of a sudden you've got to make a big save. That's good concentration on Noble's part.
Terriers flip the puck into the crowd behind the North Dakota bench, so the faceoff will be inside the BU zone.
Here's one thing that Mike Greer does so well. Bang. Good clean hit. One thing that's great about if you're on a line with a player like Mike Greer, he gives everybody else more room to play. Everybody's looking for Mike Greer, so you've got a little more room to play the game, and that's what's great about being on his line.
Moving in, Jay Panzer throws it in front. Noble keeps the stick along the ice. Bill True now working. Gets it back for Dane Litke, and his shot from the point is knocked down by Noble. In the corner, it's True again, looking for Tanzer. Now it goes back to Litke. Ian Calais, the high-scoring freshman, also on the power play now. Litke has it jump off his stick. LeChance trying to clear, and Litke does a great job to keep it in. The shot saved by Noble off the stick of Ian Calais, and the Terriers are able to clear it out. Down to 40 seconds to go on the power play for North Dakota. It is Calais, Panzer, and True up front. And Drury coming the other way now for BU shorthanded. Drury flips it into the corner.
Nice play by Litke on Chris Drury.
Litke and Curtis Murphy at the points on this North Dakota power play right now as True fires it into the corner. Chasing is Calais, but beaten to the puck by Dan Ronan, and the Terriers clear the zone. Jack Parker using his freshman defenseman out of Woburn, Dan Ronan, on penalty killing here as the power play winds down.
Jack has been very, very pleased with the play of Ronan. One of the important parts of this team this year is going to be their team defense and their defensemen in general, and Ronan has really looked sharp for a freshman.
Penalty over. Darcy Matani making nice moves and scores! Darcy Matani down the right wing side was fending off a man with one arm and stick handling with the other. Great move by Matani, and the Fighting Sioux right after the power play expires tie it up.
Yeah, that was not a power play goal, and that was a real nice shot by Matani down on the right side. Watch him break in. He fights off Shane Johnson right here. Now watch this shot low in the far corner. Watch it right there. Tommy Noble just beat on the far side. Looking at it again. Now watch how he fends off Shane Johnson, and he takes a good shot from a very difficult angle. Situation like that from a goaltender standpoint is maybe Tommy Noble sitting back in the net a little too much. Tommy might have taken a step out, might have been able to get a piece of that. Nevertheless, a real nice shot right where he had to put it.
Darcy Matani's second goal of the season. It comes at 10:34 and all even at 1, and the attempted breakaway pass from Jeff Kelty to Sean Bates almost connected, but not quite.
Sean Bates with great speed. You could see him sneaking behind the defenseman. Kelty tried to feed it through, just got it a little behind him and intercepted, touched a little by the North Dakota player. Here's another look at the goal. Now watch how he fends off Shane Johnson right here. Matani fends him off. He's a little off the angle. Tommy Noble maybe sitting back a little too much in the net. If Noble comes out just a little, he might have been able to get a piece of it. But again, credit Matani with a real nice shot. The only place he could have put it, far side, right along the ice. He did a nice job.
Brian Zerke flips it into the BU zone. Terriers work it out quickly. Mitch Vig back to Zerke. And again, he flips behind Tom Noble. He'll leave it. Jeff Kelty trying to get out. He can't. And now coming in to help John Coleman, who flips it up the boards.
That's a dangerous play right there by Jeff Kelty. Never walk out in front of your own net with the puck.
Terriers almost had a 3-on-1 there after they finally got the puck out of the zone, but they couldn't catch up to it. Coleman goes with the high flip down to the North Dakota blue line. And that's center ice, neither team controlling, before finally Jesse Bull. That all freshman line is out there once again. Jay Panzer centering Jesse Bull and Tom Fillion, 3 freshmen up front now for North Dakota, their second shift of the game. But look out, trying to get loose is Pierce, and across the line finally the whistle is blown and the offside called.
Boy, that was a little late. You see the call right now, offsides.
8:05 left to go in the first, tied at 1. Play just back on. The Terriers driving it back into the North Dakota zone. And the Sioux, Shane Johnson, or rather Corey Johnson. Get a lot of Johnsons on these two teams, by the way, so plenty to keep track of in the Johnson family. Teeter Wynn, great goal scorer, moves in, leaves it for Johnson, he scores! Teeter Wynn set that up, and Corey Johnson finished it off, the senior from Thunder Bay, Ontario, with his first goal of the season.
I'll tell you, not only did Teeter Wynn do a nice job of undressing Chris Kelleher, but Tommy Noble thought the pass was going on the other side of the ice, and he was totally out of position. Let's take another look at it here. This is just a nice job. Watch this. Back the other side. Now watch Tommy Noble in goal. He thinks the puck's going across, and instead it hits Kelleher's skate, I believe. Let us look at it here. Watch, one side, the other side. He makes the pass. See Noble? Noble lost sight of the puck. He thought the pass went across. Instead, it hit Kelleher's foot. Empty net to go in. North Dakota with a 2-1 lead.
We await word on the condition of Travis Roy of the Terriers. We have received no word as yet. As soon as we do hear something, obviously, we will pass it along to you.
Boy, what a pretty shift and a nice goal by Corey Johnson. But as you can see in the replay, watch this replay here. You see the pass is going to go across, and it's going to hit Kelleher right there in the foot. Noble thinks the pass goes across, and he's totally out of position. And the empty net goal right there by Johnson.
And North Dakota flipping it in again. Into chase, Brian Zerke, and back to the point. The Terriers can't break it out. Now Shane Johnson will hit it for BU and get it across the line. Delayed offside if North Dakota touches. They do not. And Ronan works it out for Drury, waiting for Sylvia and Pandolfo to cut to the net, and Pandolfo almost had a great chance there. Again, Pandolfo taking a spot on this line, replacing Travis Roy, along with Ted Drury and Mike Sylvia. Back the other way comes True, and he snaps it into the BU zone. Noble will leave it for John Coleman, and the Terriers will try and move quickly here as North Dakota goes for a change. Chris O'Sullivan can't handle the pass at the North Dakota blue line.
One thing the Terriers will try to do, North Dakota, a team that's going to be aggressive forechecking, the Terriers are going to try to spring some forwards high and try to get a break that way.
Have I called Chris Ted Drury already? That was inevitable.
I haven't heard it. I'm helping you out. I didn't hear anything.
Thanks, Mike. That was inevitable.
Maybe they're both on the team.
Ted, of course, the former Olympian. At center ice, the Sioux trying to snap it into the BU zone. They cannot, and now finally Johnson with control. This is Ryan Johnson, the younger brother of Corey. Shot from the point, kicked out by Noble. The rebound loose, but after Noble kicks out the shot by Brad Williamson, the Terriers are able to clear the rebound.
Oh, that's a nice job by Jeff Kelty right there. Tommy Noble made the save, gave it right back to North Dakota, but a nice play by Kelty getting to the puck and clearing it.
A look at John Coleman, second-round draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings, and there is Dean Blaze, the second-year head coach of the North Dakota Fighting Sioux.
Got a chance to know Coach Blaze when he served as an assistant to the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. Coached high school hockey from there to the U.S. Olympic team. Roseau, Minnesota.
You know, the other interesting thing about Dean Blaze is he played for Minnesota in 1971 against BU in the national championship game. That was BU's first national championship. They beat the Golden Gophers and Dean Blaze that day.
Here's going to be a trip right there. Chris Kelleher gets hauled off in the corner. Number 4, Dan Litke, the captain of the Fighting Sioux, is going to go off, and the Terriers with their second power play opportunity.
Couldn't cash in on the first one. And we'll get another look at the penalty.
There's another look at this one's pretty obvious. You watch Chris Kelleher, 2 penalties right there. 1, leaving your feet to play the man, and 2, hauling them down at the same time. They only call 1, but you could have your choice right there.
Tripping on Dane Litke. 14:41 the time, and the Terriers with their second power play opportunity, and Jack Parker sends out Bob LaChance, centering Jay Pandolfo and Chris Drury, with Kelleher and Wood at the points. And Drury gets it back to Kelleher. Wood and Kelleher playing catch. LaChance now back for Wood, for Pandolfo in front. LaChance too deep for the shot. Now Kelleher. 5 minutes to go in the first period. North Dakota leading 2-1. Cross ice pass for Pandolfo. He can't handle it cleanly. Back for Wood's shot, and the rebound knocked wide by Drury. Drury is still on it. And there's going to be another North Dakota penalty coming up here. Noble out of the net. The Terriers trying to get the 2-man advantage, and they lose the puck outside the zone, but play can continue as long as the Sioux don't touch it. Kelleher, the long pass up ice intended for Drury, and that's going to be icing against BU. Kind of a tough break. Now the faceoff has to come all the way back to the BU zone, and the Terriers will have a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, unfortunate situation there by Chris Kelleher, trying to get a little too much at one time rather than get it to a player, get it in the zone, and if there's going to be a whistle, have it in the offensive zone. Instead, he tried to force a pass through the middle, ended up an icing call. Now North Dakota with a chance at least to kill some more time off the penalty with a face-off in the BU zone.
Nick Nemenko goes off for this penalty.
Let's take a look at the penalty in front of the net. Watch Nemenko, number 6. Well, I guess that's one of the new calls you have today.
That's right.
I didn't think Nemenko made a bad play. Watch Chris Nemenko, number 6. He's going to come into the picture right here. Watch him. And he interferes with LaChance going to what could have been the puck that was behind the net. That's what they call a lot of now in the National Hockey League, and they're calling it in college hockey as well. Interference, stopping somebody from getting to the puck.
Actually, the plan was that they were supposed to be calling it in college hockey a couple of years ago before the NHL did it.
That's a tough call right there. I didn't think he made that bad a play.
5-on-3, Mike Greer wheeling in front to O'Sullivan. He scores.
Well,
5-on-3. three. The Terriers cash in. It didn't take very long.
I can't tell you how many times we saw that last year. They play so well together. They work off each other very, very well. And that's just a real nice heads-up play by Mike Greer. A lot of times last year, Mike Greer was getting the tap-in goals because of O'Sullivan's moves. This year, in that particular goal, it was a role reversal. Watch this play by Mike Greer. Watch Greer pick up the puck. Watch this. One move here. Now watch this move. Bang to his backhand. Chris O'Sullivan, thank you very much. Here's another look at it. Great presence of mind by Mike Greer to hold on to the puck and make one more move in order to get it over to O'Sullivan.
Chris O'Sullivan, who led the Terriers in scoring a year ago, is off to a big start this year with 2 goals here in the first period, and we're tied at 2. Now 4 minutes to play. And of course, remember, the Terriers still have the power play here, 5 on 4. It took only 24 seconds after that second penalty, Mike, for the Terriers to score, so they've still got more than a minute left on that second penalty. In front, the puck loose, but the Sioux finally able to clear it as Brian Johnson flips it down. Jeff Kelty back to chase for BU. Right now for the Terriers, it's Kelty out there along with O'Sullivan, Greer, Drury, and now BU making a change as Doug Wood comes on along with Chris Kelleher, and they play catch at the points. Wood with the shot. Blocked out front, cleared away by the Sioux.
Nice save by Kovalovog. Mike Greer with a nice tip. Kovalovog just got his pad on it.
This is Wood. Sylvia trying the tip pass to Pierce. It doesn't work. And there'll be a face-off in the neutral zone. And we go downstairs to Alita Atayan.
Yeah, a little FYI about Greer. Earlier before the game, I was talking to him, and he said he shaved his head. So I don't know if you can see that under his helmet, but he said it's good luck. He had his teammate John Hines help him out with that, and said it worked for him in high school, and he's trying it again.
There's a look at Mike Greer and the little tip and the shot from the point. You can see Kovalovog made a nice save.
John Hines, the team barber, is that what we've arranged now?
Hines did it last year, and he's doing it again this year.
The Terriers still with 15 seconds on the man advantage here as they try and race up ice. Pierce flips it behind the North Dakota net. Sylvia on the chase with Drury. Kept in at the point nicely by Shane Johnson. Clears it into the far corner. You see the power play just now ending. Nick Nemenko will come right back into the North Dakota zone to help out defensively, and the Terriers get jammed in the corner, and the whistle blows. Our officials tonight, by the way, Frank Cole and Bill Jones, the referees, Mike Watson, the linesman, and 2:32 remaining in the first period of a 2-2 hockey game. The Terriers broke on top. Chris O'Sullivan scoring the first goal of the season, just 1:45 in. Sean Bates the assist. Then the next 2 goals went to North Dakota, one for Darcy Matani, another one for Corey Johnson, and then the power play goal for BU on the 5-on-3. O'Sullivan again is second of the game from Greer at 15:46. LaChance, Pandolfo, and Brendan Walsh out there now for BU. Coleman keeps it in, and his flip goes all the way in on Kovalovog, and he has to make the chest save.
That's a nice little play by John Coleman. He has nothing. He's got nobody to pass the puck to. Shoot it at the net. Who knows what's going to happen? Pandolfo was in front. Could have screened. Could have got a tip in. I'm going to say this name right before the night's over. Kovalovog does a nice job of staying with the shot. Again, what's nice about Kovalovog's save there is there was no rebound.
10 shots for BU to this point, 8 for North Dakota. And here come the Sioux, Matt Henderson. And there's going to be a penalty called on BU as well, as Henderson cannot connect with Brian Zerke across the line. The Sioux keep it in play and almost tipped into his own net by Bob LaChance. And now the penalty called by Frank Cole. It's going to be holding on Brendan Walsh, the freshman for BU. So Brendan, out of Dorchester and Catholic Memorial, playing his first college hockey game, and just 2 days away from his 21st birthday, will sit in the penalty box.
I was kidding him the other day. I think I was a senior when I was 21 years old. But Brendan brings a unique style of play to the game. He's a great competitor, very skilled player, but a real tough player, a real hard-nosed player. That holding penalty is not the kind of penalty you'll see Brendan get too often. His more penalties are more physical penalties.
So the Terriers will play a man short, but they keep the pressure on. Pandolfo trying to throw it out in front for Bob LaChance. That doesn't work, and back come the Sioux on the power play. Matani setting it up in front. Teeter Wynn can't get the shot off. And the Terriers will clear as Pandolfo flips it down.
Boy, nice little puck movement right there by North Dakota. Teeter Wynn almost gets a chance to put one in there.
It's Teeter Wynn, Darcy Matani, and Nick Nemenko up front on the power play. And this is Nemenko. Nice sliding stop by Wood to block that pass. Terriers can't get it out of the zone. Murphy hit the post. Oh, what a bullet by Curtis Murphy, and he hit the post. Behind the net, Matani wheels it around now to Ryan Johnson. Back to Nemenko, who's back at the point. His shot is kicked away and cleared away by the Terriers.
This is their dangerous power play unit, especially with Nemenko on the point.
A minute to go on the power play. Just a little bit more than that left to go in the period. Matani with a broken stick. Nemenko's shot whistles wide. Mike Greer playing without a stick for the Terriers. And it's flipped down the length of the ice alertly by Shane Johnson, and that'll give Mike Greer a chance to get off the ice. So the Terriers can have 4 players with sticks out there. 35 seconds to go on the power play. About an 8-second differential on the 2 clocks. Ian Calais, the freshman, tried to get it back to the point, and Dane Litke could not hold it in. Litke up now for Bill True, and he taps it into the BU zone as North Dakota completes the change, and the Terriers clear it down. Leaving only 15 seconds to go on the penalty. 23 seconds left in the first period of a 2-2 hockey game. Across the line, Bill True making some moves, but bumped off the play by Kelty. Down deep, Panzer fighting for it. Panzer behind the net, looking for True. They're running out of time. The power play is over. You see just a few seconds to go in the period. The Sioux need to get it into shooting position. They do for Litke, but it wouldn't have counted anyway. I think the buzzer just beat that shot by Dane Litke, and of course, it's not like basketball where you can just get the shot off. It has to be in the net. And of course, the Sioux weren't aware of how little time they had left. Pretty entertaining period, except for the injury to Travis Roy, and we will be looking to get word on him as soon as we possibly can. First intermission at Walter Brown Arena, tied at 2. Let's send it back to our studios to Howard Green and Dave Silk. An entertaining first period here at Walter Brown Arena, save for that significant injury to Travis Roy, and we're going to get an update from Alita in just a moment. But first of all, in case you joined us late, it came just 11 seconds after the Terriers scored the first goal of the game. Chris O'Sullivan putting BU on the board with a 1-0 lead, and then 11 seconds later, Mike, Travis Roy on his very first shift for BU trying to throw a check in the North Dakota end. Yeah, you know, David Silk talked a little bit about it. The adrenaline gets going, you get all pumped up. Here's your first shift. Travis coming into the corner, just making a kind of a normal hit on the defenseman right there. Kind of falls off him a little to the side, and you can't see quite the angle, but you see him going in head first, and after that, absolutely no movement from Travis. We'll try to get an update, as I said, very shortly on that. Well, it took a good 15 minutes or more of consultation before they finally moved Travis Roy off the ice. And now for the update on the chronology of events since he left the ice, let's go downstairs to Alita Hetayan. Alita?
The latest on Travis Roy is they have taken him from University Hospital to City Hospital for better doctors of what they say. This information is coming from the police officer that saw Travis right next to the boards, go right into the boards. He said he was standing there when Travis went in for the check, missed it, and hit his head right against the board. So right now, the latest is he has gone from University Hospital to City Hospital. Back to you upstairs.
All right, Alita, thanks very much. And obviously, as we get further information, we will certainly pass it along. They're playing good team defense. Boston University not with a ton of shots and not many quality shots. Well, certainly Dean Blaze doesn't want a high-scoring game, so if he could hold the Terriers at 2 for a while, I'm sure he'd be more than satisfied with that. But the Terriers have had an awful lot of chances on Toby Kovalovog. 2-2 the score, and Nick Nemenko behind his own net. The forechecker is Jay Pandolfo, joined by Bob LaChance, as they're out there with Brendan Walsh for BU. The tip in front, it goes right to LaChance. He's open, and he cannot pull the trigger the way he wanted to on Kovalovog. Back at the point, it's Wood. In front, looked like a power play there for the moment, but it was not. Teams playing 5-on-5, but the Terriers buzzing in the North Dakota zone. Nemenko, the defenseman, who's a pretty good puck handler, foiled at the BU line by Brendan Walsh, and the Terriers tap it across the North Dakota line. Wow. Shots on goal, by the way, in that first period, Mike, 11 for BU and 9 for North Dakota. That shift by LaChance, very nice in front of the goal. Just ran into a little too much traffic, and nice play by Kovalovog to break him up. Terriers go for the long pass. It doesn't work. Brian Zerke flips it across the BU line. And back for it, Jeff Kelty for the Terriers. Up the boards for O'Sullivan. That doesn't connect. And Kevin Rapana is dumped into the North Dakota bench by Mike Greer. And there's that ongoing battle, Mike Eruzione.
Well, that's a good hit by Mike Greer. And, you know, we talked about the battle between the two. They've battled before, and Rapana is 6'2", 210 pounds, so he's a big boy himself.
Bates behind the North Dakota net, kicks it around for Pierce. Pierce with nobody out front. Now Greer gets in position, but the pass doesn't connect. And back at center ice, Bill True flips it down on Tom Noble. He leaves it for Dan Ronan, the freshman out of Woburn and Belmont Hill School. Now for Mike Greer, and the Terriers will go for a line change as Kovalovog leaves it behind the net. Pierce bumps into a North Dakota defender, and after hitting Curtis Murphy, almost turned it into a goal out front. Drury. Now for Shane Johnson. Pinching in deep from the point. Johnson throws it out front. No BU player there to collect. And it's Kevin Hoogstein now for North Dakota. Hoogstein, whose younger brother Dave is also on the team, but not dressed for tonight's game. Dave is a freshman. Kevin Hoogstein across the line with Ryan Johnson. That doesn't work, and back the other way come the Terriers. Sylvia diving, trying for the 2-on-1, but it's alertly poked into the BU bench by Curtis Murphy, and the whistle with 17:32 to go in the middle period, tied at 2.
Although it's only been a couple of shifts into the second period, a little more jump from the Terriers this period, a little more pressure on North Dakota, and it makes you wonder maybe a little where they came out so well after that situation with Travis Roy, if the Terriers did get a little complacent and a little concerned, I guess, and rightly so. But it seems this period they've picked up a little more where they started the game.
Across the line, Pandolfo looking for the loose puck, but that's skated off by Jay Panzer. Once again, that all-freshman line out there for North Dakota. Noble kicks it out front. Back the other way come the Terriers, but this pass, well, it would have been icing, but it goes right in on Kovalovog.
Well, that's what we talked about. The Terriers trying to have a fast breakout right away. Try to catch North Dakota, an aggressive forechecking team. As they come at you, transition game, you get the puck to your defense, force them to come. As they're coming, you try to go the other way. Almost worked right there for the Terriers.
Good look down the BU bench. Opening game of the 1995-96 season. We're happy to have you with us here on 68 Sports, the first of a big schedule of college hockey games here on 68 Sports. We will have a lot of college hockey for you this season, including the Badger Classic from Wisconsin, the Bean Pot, of course, from the brand new Fleet Center, and lots more. The Terriers go for the tip out front. LaChance has it go off his stick and up over the glass.
Oh, we talked about it earlier. Any chance you have as a defenseman, when in doubt, get the puck on the net. You never know. Good things can happen. You look at Bobby LaChance, assistant captain this year. You look at his year last year, he really came on in the second half of the season last year and really played well for the Terriers. And another one of those senior players that they're going to rely on to provide leadership, not only on the ice, but off the ice as well.
LaChance gets it out front to Brendan Walsh, the freshman, getting a little space. Now takes it behind the net on Nemeko and centers to no one.
Situation like that, Brendan Walsh can't give the puck up out front. You have to just eat it, take it in the corner.
Corey Johnson feeds Teeter Wynn. The drop pass intended for Matani doesn't work. And in the corner, the Sioux still battling for it now. Johnson turns around and gets it. Johnson being harassed by Wood. Johnson doing a terrific job against Wood, but he had no one to pass to. North Dakota wants to get a change, and they do as Brendan Walsh brings it the other way for the Terriers. Up the boards now for Bill True, and he'll flip center ice. And now we have a whistle. One of the North Dakota players came off the ice with an equipment problem, but now we're going to have a penalty called.
I count 6 Boston University players, so that's one too many. A confusing situation somewhere. Someone jumped that shouldn't have. I was talking earlier about the play that Brendan Walsh made behind the net. I talked about eating the puck. What I meant by that was don't just throw it out blindly. Hold on to it until somebody gets open. By throwing it out blindly, you can create scoring or breakout for the other team. You don't want to start the other team's breakout by throwing the puck blindly out in front of the net. You're better off holding on to it. And it is going to be a penalty against the Terriers for too many men on the ice. Some confusion in the bench somewhere.
Bill Pierce will serve it, and we will go downstairs right next door to the penalty box, in fact, to Alita Hatayan.
Yeah, I'm in the penalty box here with Pierce, but we're talking more about defense right now. I talked to Blaze McDonald, the assistant coach, a little bit earlier, and he was saying how they are going to have to really tighten up on defense all the way from the front line into the back line. And in this second period, I have to tell you, the feeling on the bench is fast and tighten up. The word is down here. He's yelling at these guys like crazy. So tighten up is the word down here. Let's play defense.
Alita, you make a nice point there, because defense isn't just played by your defensemen. They are played by all players, your wings and your center as well. In order to be a good defensive team, everybody has to play well, and that's something that this team has to do in order to be successful defensively.
A minute 25 left to go in this North Dakota power play, and so far, Mike, they have not even been able to get started. Bill True now will bring it out. He gets it to Nick Nemenko, who again will move up into the forward line along with Jay Panzer and Ian Calais, and toward the net, Noble is able to grab it and cover for a faceoff. So it's Ian Calais, the freshman, along with Jay Panzer, another freshman, and Nick Nemenko, the senior captain, on the forward line on this power play.
And this is their most dangerous power play, although they've changed it out. Let me see. No, Nemenko's still out there. Here's a look at the shift right here. Look at Chris O'Sullivan. We talked about how he can play forward or defense. Real nice job fending off. Tommy Noble picks up the puck and causes the faceoff. But O'Sullivan back on defense in this particular penalty kill.
The Teeter Win line now on for North Dakota on the power play. Nemenko back at the right point, and his shot is partially deflected. Nemenko keeps it in on the bounce nicely for Johnson. Across in front, it goes deep into the corner. Darcy Matani around to Teeter Win. Ryan Johnson back to the point. Nemenko's shot is well wide. Back to the other side, Curtis Murphy. Now Ryan Johnson trying to get into the circle. He's stopped there, and Chris O'Sullivan will skate it out for BU. Could be a 3-on-2. O'Sullivan couldn't connect with Drury. Back the other way come the Sioux, and here's Teeter Win. He's a goal scorer, and he goes wide on the short side. Tried to pick the top corner and missed it. Behind the net, Win throws it out front to Johnson, but that will be cleared.
Chris O'Sullivan forgetting that he's killing a penalty and trying to make a play on the initial rush. In a situation like that, he has to dump the puck in the zone, get a line change. You're killing a penalty, you're not on a power play.
Curtis Murphy can't get it started. Now Zerke will try and move it across the BU line, and he finally does. In deep to forecheck, Bill True and Matt Henderson. This is True in the corner, but he cannot hang on to it, and the penalty will end. The Terriers have killed off another North Dakota power play. BU now 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. True comes the other way. He's 2-on-5 with Zerke, and he loses the puck. Walsh skates it off nicely to Kelleher. And Kelleher looking for LaChance, and that'll be icing.
That puck just skipped over the stick of Bobby LaChance.
We will take a timeout with 14:05 left to go in the second, tied at 2. Back at Walter Brown Arena, Doug Brown along with Mike Ruzioni and Alita Hetayan ringside. Glad to have you along for our first broadcast of the new season, the season opener. And Tom Noble immediately covers the shot of Kevin Rapana from the right point.
One of the things that Jack Parker keys to a win is face-off goals. You have to be tough in a face-off. That's 2 in a row that John Hines lost and went right back to the defenseman. You have to be strong on face-offs.
Here comes Matt Wright trying to break in alone. He didn't have much room on the short side, and Kovalevog smothers it.
Not only that, but he lost his stick, his glove just inside the blue line. Matty Wright, and makes things happen when he's on the ice. And watch Matty Wright right here. Just takes the puck away. He's going to lose his glove right there. Goes to the net, goes hard to the net. Really kind of runs out of real estate there. Didn't have much room to shoot at, but does the right thing. Puts the shot on net.
Matt Wright was voted the team's most improved player a year ago, Mike. He's been quite a pleasant surprise.
He really has. He works awfully hard.
Behind the net, the Terriers trying to press Pandolfo in the corner with LaChance. LaChance feeds it out, but now Walsh has it. The backhand flip, and it goes right on the stick of Jesse Bull, and he'll clear it for the Fighting Sioux, along with Tom Fillion. Now to Jay Panzer, this all-freshman line getting in for a shot attempt, although Panzer couldn't get a lot of lean on that shot, and Noble will cover it.
Well, that's a nice play by Shane Johnson right there. Earlier we saw Shane Johnson kind of get beat by a player. That particular time, Johnson did a nice job of staying with his man. Didn't create any kind of scoring angle or scoring opportunity, and a weak shot went on Tommy Noble, and Noble made a nice save. That's a nice job by number 27, Shane Johnson.
Terriers will change up here. LaChance, Pandolfo, and Walsh will leave, and the Sean Bates line will come on.
Take a look at Shane Johnson right there. Good defensive defenseman.
Well, a tie game and just about even in the faceoff department as well. 13:30 to go, and look out in front. Tom Noble can't stop it. Is the red light on? Yes.
That's what we talk about faceoffs. Boston University not doing a nice job on faceoffs. They lose that draw right there. Ends up goal right for North Dakota.
Matt Henderson jamming the crease right off the faceoff. That's Matt Henderson, number 22. He'll score the goal.
Watch the faceoff right here. Nobody picks anyone up. Nobody picks him up. He comes in. He picks up the puck. Left wing on that line is Chris O'Sullivan. Here's another look at it. Watch him come through. No one picks him up. The defenseman lets him go. He walks in. He puts the second shot in.
And Chris O'Sullivan almost had himself a hat trick as he broke in alone on the left wing side. The save by Kovalovog. Greer throws it in front. Bates trying to reach it. Feeds it for O'Sullivan. Zerke checking him along with Mitch Vig. O'Sullivan looking to get the faceoff. He can't. They're telling him play on, and now it's a hand pass to Sean Bates for the whistle. So Matt Henderson, his second goal of the season for the North Dakota Fighting Sioux, only the third of his career, had 2 in his freshman year last season.
Well, Henderson just was very aggressive. He couldn't be denied. He kept going. He stayed with the puck. He went to the net. No one picked him up. Not only did he get a chance at the first shot, but he was able to put the second one in.
And that puck just did cross the goal line, it appeared, before Noble was able to grab it.
And we talked about it just prior. One of the points of, in order to win the game for the Terriers, you look at all Jack's goals for the team and get face-off goals yourself. That time they did not. They gave one up.
So for the second time tonight, North Dakota has the lead, and the Terriers press the attack. In the Fighting Sioux zone, Chris Drury gets flattened on a tough check by Curtis Murphy. In front, it's Sylvia with a little room. He scores! Mike Sylvia ties it up.
Mike Sylvia with a real nice shot. I think he caught Kovalovog by surprise. Sylvia just snapped it off along the ice. I'm not quite sure if Kovalovog saw it. Here's the hit on Drury. Watch, Drury tries to cut back. He gets knocked down. The puck's going to get over to Sylvia in the middle. Now watch Sylvia. He just snaps it off. And it looked like from that angle that Kovalovog did not see it real well. This is a good low shot by Sylvia, and he might have been screened just enough at the beginning so that he couldn't pick it up right away. Picked it up actually too late. Nice shot by Sylvia. Terriers tie the game.
Not very often that you'll see a guy stand all by himself that high in the slot before he finally gets a shot away.
And I think what was nice about the fact was Sylvia got a good low shot off as the defenseman was coming on him, and I don't think Kovalovog saw it off the initial shot, tried to pick it up, but picked it up too late.
That came just 46 seconds after the North Dakota goal, so back where we started now, tied at 3. Kovalovog leaves it for Nick Nemenko. Sylvia back pressuring again. It will be Sylvia unassisted at 7:22. And now here come the Fighting Sioux. It's Kevin Hoogstein. Feeds Nick Nemenko. The dangerous defenseman. He was number 2 on the team in scoring a year ago, but he's checked off the play by Kelleher. And back comes O'Sullivan. Crisscrossing now. Feeds it for Wood, and it's called offside.
Offside, Chris Drury.
Let's go downstairs for an update with Alita Hateyan.
We just saw Sylvia score that last goal there, and he is one of the sophomores that Coach Parker talked to me earlier about, saying that he's one of the guys that needs to step up and fill those shoes from last year. Back to you upstairs.
Now, that's worth mentioning several times, Mike, is the fact that this sophomore class for BU is very important this year.
Here's a look at the goal by Sylvia. See the shot? And it looked like Kovalovog didn't pick it up right away because the defenseman was out in front of him. But that's a good low shot by Sylvia, and you're right. The sophomores, the juniors, everybody's got to pick their game up a notch.
Sylvia, Hines, Drury, the rest of this very important sophomore class, Kelleher, Kelty, they are all being counted on to help fill the shoes of the guys who are no longer here, because they're guys who've had quite a bit of playing experience now. The Terriers can't keep it in the zone, and Pierce flips it back to Kelty at the BU line. Kelty with John Coleman. Now Kelty again, one of those sophomores we were just discussing, flips it into the North Dakota zone. Mitch Vig, number 7, back to get it for the Sioux. Forechecking is Hines and Matt Wright, and Wright, as usual, running into something and hitting somebody Kelty flips it down low for Hines. Terriers controlling the play here. Again, it looked like a power play momentarily in the North Dakota zone. Finally, Panzer clears it out. Panzer trying to connect with Jesse Bull. That didn't work, and Noble flipped it out of the zone himself. And across the line comes Matt Wright. He'll take the shot. It goes high over Kovalovog. Backhanded in at the point by John Coleman. Behind the net, Pierce with the hit on Kevin Rapana. Rapana has been very involved in this game tonight. Now he's trading blows with Pierce in the corner. Meanwhile, LaChance has the puck. Rapana back up and into the play. Shane Johnson trying to hold it in. He can't. Panzer trying to break 2-on-1 with Bull. That's broken up.
Nice job by Brendan Walsh getting back, doing a nice job of back checking.
And now Walsh with the puck in the neutral zone. His first pass is blocked, and now he completes one to Bob LaChance, but back the other way come the Sioux. Approaching the halfway point of this hockey game at Walter Brown Arena, all tied at 3. BU in North Dakota. The shot from the point by Murphy is blocked on a great slide by Pandolfo, and he deflected it all the way up to the roof of Walter Brown.
Now, I'm not sure if that was Pandolfo or Bobby LaChance. I think it was Bobby LaChance. Did a nice job on that one.
We will take a break and come back to Walter Brown Arena. 10:06 left in the second. It's tied.
Here's a look at some of the action. Watch Shane Johnson coming into the picture right there. Bang. Hello. Thank you.
We've had quite a bit of physical play here in this second period. 3-3 the score. Very entertaining hockey game here at Walter Brown. And the Sioux pressing the attack in the BU zone. Chris Kelleher now moves in to skate it off. Right up the middle looking for Sean Bates. It goes off his feet, but right to Mike Greer. He's got O'Sullivan out front, and he can't connect with him. Corey Johnson trying to clear for North Dakota, and now finally has control. Corey Johnson, who has a goal tonight for North Dakota, as the Terriers' Mike Greer flips it back into the North Dakota zone.
And Doug, you talked about it being a physical game, but it's been a good, solid game. It's been a good, clean hitting, physical hockey game.
Up through the middle, Coleman looking for Greer. That doesn't work. And back the other way come the Sioux, and a hit on Henderson by John Coleman. The Terriers try the breakout. Walsh hits Drury. They cross at the line and lose the puck. But it's handed right back to Drury, and the Terriers keep it in. Coleman winds up. Tipped out front. Kovalovog picks it out of a crowd of legs and is able to cover it with the glove.
Oh, nice play by John Coleman and Chris Drury. Nice play by Drury getting the puck. Actually, 3 nice plays. Drury does a nice job of getting it to Coleman. Coleman with a good shot, and a nice save by Kovalovog in front of the net with a lot of traffic in front. Here's a look at it. Drury, watch the shift by Drury. Stops, sees the open man, gets it back to Coleman. Now watch the shot by Coleman from the point. Look at all that action in front. Kovalovog with a nice pad save. Boy, that's a beauty right there. Some dancing, college.
Everyone's having a great time here.
College hockey. You gotta love it.
Kovalovog in goal for North Dakota, who's been busy tonight, has played an awful lot of games for this team. Behind the net, Drury. Great stick work. Out front, the shot and the save on Walsh.
Another nice save by Kovalovog on Walsh, and a nice shift by Drury.
This is the 65th, make it the 67th game of Toby Kovalovog's career. He's still just a junior, but he's been getting the bulk of the work since his freshman year. Drew fires one over the net. Up front, the great save by Noble.
Terry is running around a little in the defensive zone. Nice save by Tommy Noble.
Jeff Kelty can't get out of the zone. Henderson is pulled down. They say no call on Coleman, and he is able to ice it, but he flips it right on Kovalovog, who has to play it. What I started to say about Kovalovog, Mike, is that he was on the WCHA all-rookie team his freshman year 2 years ago. He played in 32 games. The only freshman goaltender that's played more games than that in North Dakota is a guy by the name of Ed Belfour.
Not a bad goalie.
Yeah. And Kovalovog, by the way, is an NHL draft pick. He was chosen a couple of years ago by Ottawa in the 9th round. Pierce in the corner for BU along with Matt Wright. Wright comes away with it behind the net to Hines. He comes all the way out front. Now for Ronan. Looking back for Hines instead of the shot, and it's taken away by North Dakota. This is Hoogstein. Hoogstein waits for his teammates to cut to the net. Now Hoogstein walks out front, and the shot just dribbles wide of the post. Pierce can't get it out of the zone for BU. Hoogstein now in the corner. Backhand pass, and nobody can collect it for North Dakota. Back The other way come the Terriers, possible 3-on-2. This is Brendan Walsh, the freshman. He's got a man wide open on the other side. He can't connect with Pandolfo. Pandolfo now to LaChance, and that's blocked.
Pandolfo wide open. Drury just couldn't quite get the puck to him.
Terriers flip it in. Lots of continuous action here in the second period. Less than 7 minutes to play. A 3-3 tie right now. Pandolfo in the corner. LaChance backhands it out front. Pandolfo with a point-blank shot. He scores on his own rebound. Great work by this line in the North Dakota end.
I'll tell you, that's great patience by Jay Pandolfo right there. He takes the first shot. Kavalovog makes a very nice save, but Pandolfo picks the rebound up and makes a nice move to his backhand and puts it in. Good work down low. Bobby LaChance out front. Watch the shot by Pandolfo, the save. Now watch Pandolfo. Nice presence of mind to get the puck, go to his backhand. A very poor job by North Dakota of not covering him. Watch Pandolfo. There's the first shot. No reason to give him the second one, but he does a nice job. You see number 7, Mitch Vig. You know, he's a little frustrated. He should have been there to pick up Pandolfo, but good job by Pandolfo picking up the second shot.
The first goal of the season for the captain, and Sean Bates almost tips in a pass from Chris O'Sullivan at the post. Behind the net, O'Sullivan and Bates pressing the play. Bates in the corner. Back for Kelleher, and Kelleher flips it into the crowd. Watch out, that almost hit someone right in the head. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon at 1, it's the Canine Classic 1995. Join me along with Sean Grandy for BU football as the Terriers host the Northeastern Huskies live from Nickerson Field, only here on WABU TV, channel 68.
Doug, the Terriers doing a real nice job of keeping the puck down low. I think they should start to look towards their defensemen a little. North Dakota's forwards and defense all clogging in front of the net. The defensemen look like they're open for some point shots.
Johnson, Ryan Johnson, that is, the younger brother of Corey, trying to cut for a shot, could not do it. Pinned along the boards. Finally, Greer flips it across the line. This will be a delayed offside unless the Terriers keep control. They do, and Coleman will flip it up to center. Less than 6 minutes to go in the second period. BU with the lead again, 4-3. This game has seesawed back and forth, and very unusual, Mike. We've had 3 goals in this second period, all unassisted. There's Pandolfo scoring on his own rebound a moment ago to give the Terriers the lead. Behind the net, it's Nomenko. Up the middle for Zerke. That's broken up by Ronan. Drury trying to flip across. Nomenko stops that. Brendan Walsh trying the back spin pass. And instead, it'll be back to the BU end. Shane Johnson going for the long pass. Boy, the Terriers have been trying the vertical game here tonight, Mike.
Well, what happens, again, like I said, is if North Dakota's going to send 2 men right away like that, the Terriers are going to try to spring somebody up the other end.
5 minutes to play now and counting in the second period. BU leading 4-3 behind the net. Watch out, the chance for Bill True, and he's pulled down, and there's going to be a penalty on the Terriers.
I believe that penalty is going to go against Ronan for a trip.
Actually, I don't think it was True. It was Zerke trying to cut out from behind the net. And there's Ronan headed to the penalty box. This will be the 4th power play chance for North Dakota. They are 0 for 3 so far.
Here's a look at the penalty right here. Sometimes you have to move your legs rather than just reaching and hooking like that. Ronan does a nice job of being with his man, but instead of reaching to hook him down, move your legs and catch up to him. You won't get a penalty if you do that.
And it was Bill True that was dragged down by that man, Dan Ronan. Terriers trying to clear right off the faceoff, and they do. Tripping the call on Ronan at 15:04, and look out, Kavalovog has to sweep it behind the net. Pandolfo lost his stick, and the Terriers are going to have to scramble to get back here. Possible 4-on-2 as Panzer, the freshman center, across the line. Flips in front. True can't get the shot off.
Nice play by LaChance.
Back to the point. It's Litke. His shot through traffic is blocked. Back to Vig. Over to Litke. He'll try it again. It bounces past Noble behind the net. Panzer trying to center it. Score! Ian Calais, the freshman. The prolific scorer. We talked about him in the first period. Ian Calais' 3rd goal of the season so far. He's just a freshman. In his 3rd game, he gets his 3rd goal. A great pass from behind the net.
I'll tell you, you can see where Calais is a goal scorer. You watch him in front of the net. Out of sight, out of mind. Like Mike Greer in front of the net. Nobody's picking up Collet. Watch the puck come out to him. Try to get another look at it. Watch it, right there. Nobody picks up Collet, and he scores the goal. Watch Mike Greer, number 12. Somebody has to pick up Collet. You get there a little late. Anytime you see a goal scorer, you've got to get on his stick. Nobody picked up Collet. Goal was scored.
That took 36 seconds after the penalty, and now there's going to be a penalty on North Dakota.
Oh, that's a bad penalty for North Dakota right there.
Right off the faceoff. Noble out of the BU net. The Terriers keep control of the puck. Bates. Cross-ice pass for the chance to Greer. Out front looking for Bates. And now the touch-up by North Dakota, and here will come the penalty. It'll be a hooking penalty on the Fighting Sioux. The Terriers go on the power play in a 4-4 hockey game when we come back to Walter Brown Arena. Welcome back to Walter Brown Arena. You're looking at Darcy Matani in the penalty box for North Dakota. 2 minutes for tripping at 16:03. Just 23 seconds. Actually, they called it hooking at 16:03. Just 23 seconds after North Dakota tied the game.
Those are penalties that will drive coaches absolutely crazy. No reason for that. It was right off a face-off at center ice. There you see Terrier is 1 of 3, but only 5 shots on the power play. There's Bill Berglund, the goalie coach, talking to Tommy Noble.
That one power play goal for BU came on a 2-man advantage also in the first period. Chris O'Sullivan's second goal of the night. Jack Parker looking for win number 494 tonight as he starts his 23rd season behind the BU bench. And Jack gets to coach 2 teams this year, Mike. He gets to coach the Terriers as always, and he will also coach the U.S. junior team at the World Championships to be held right here in the Boston area in December.
That'll be great, but it's in your own backyard. That's great for Jack, and I know he's looking forward to that.
Sean Bates in the corner as the Terriers set up the power play. Kelty and Coleman at the points to O'Sullivan. He pulls the trigger. It's wide. Back for Kelty again. Now for Bates. It's Bates, Greer, and O'Sullivan, the forward line. Kelty and Coleman at the points. Coleman to O'Sullivan, tried to get it in front. That was blocked. Greer gets knocked down in front. Back up, and the Terriers keep it in. Bates for Coleman. Back for Kelty. He'll try it. It's blocked by Kovalovog, but he could not control the rebound.
I'm surprised North Dakota are letting the Terriers move the puck around like this. Normally they're an aggressive forechecking team.
And there's the goal by Mike Greer.
You cannot let people have time to make plays, and that's what North Dakota did. And nobody picked up Mike Greer in front. He was all alone. You have to have somebody pick up the players in front.
And they let Chris O'Sullivan start the play from behind the net.
Right, and here's another look at it. Now look at Mike Greer. Nobody's on him. Somebody's got to pick him up. He's just standing there. Yeah, he can stand next to him, but you've got to get a body on Mike Greer. Chris O'Sullivan sees the ice very well. He sees Mike Greer. When you have Mike Greer in your sights, you have to get his stick up and you have to get your body on him. North Dakota did not do that, and there's the goal.
This was before the goal when Greer was knocked over. Oh,
you know, that's what you got to do with them, though. You've got to get people on them. If you get a penalty, you get a penalty. But it's similar to goal that was scored earlier by North Dakota. You have to have people on bodies in front of the net. Not just standing next to them. You have to be there. You have to get their stick up.
First goal of the season for Mike Greer, and a power play goal, the second for BU tonight, and BU retakes the lead at 5-4. 16:46 the time, and back and forth we go here in what is turning into a bit of a shootout. Not the kind of game North Dakota wanted to play, but they're hanging right in it right now. Walsh trying to get it away from the BU zone. Finally squirts over to the other sideboard, and LaChance had to come back so he wouldn't put himself offside. And he loses at center ice. Finally regains and taps to the near boards. Ratana looking for the connection up ice, and Shane Johnson prevents that. And Pierce works it out of the zone along with Johnson and Walsh, and it will be icing. 2:16 left to go in this middle period. 5-4. BU leads it. Each team has led at least twice. No team has led by 2 goals in this game. It has been back and forth all night long. And if you the face-off to the left of Tom Noble in the BU goal. Bill True tried to draw it back to Nick Nemenko at the point, but the Terriers won the draw nicely. And here's Kelleher up the middle, intended for Bill Pierce, and it did not work. Back the other way comes Bill Zerke. Zerke in the corner. for True. He's checked off the play by Kelleher. Zerke follows through, and his centering pass goes right to Bill Pierce of the Terriers. And he is dumped at center ice. True will flip it back in. Zerke into forecheck. Noble leaves it for Kelleher. Down to 1:45 to go, middle period. 5-4, BU leading it. On the power play goal a moment ago by Mike Greer. The Terriers back across the line. Drury is tripped by Zerke, and Zerke's going out. Right at the North Dakota line, Brian Zerke, the junior from Brainerd, Minnesota, called for the trip.
Another opportunity here for the Terriers to get themselves a 2-goal lead. As we saw in the last power play, the Terriers had all kinds of time to move the puck around. Here's a look at the trip. Watch Chris Drury coming into the picture, and there you see the feet getting pulled out from underneath him. And the Terriers, as I mentioned earlier, a chance on the power play. It'll be interesting to see this particular time if North Dakota is aggressive forechecking. Last time they let the Terriers set up and move the puck around. That's not wise against this Terrier team. They move the puck too well.
Well, Dean Blaze for North Dakota sends Bill True out on the penalty kill, along with Tom Fillion, a freshman, and True was already on the ice right off the faceoff. The puck squirted into the crowd, and then called offside.
Offside right there.
So it comes out of the zone.
Terriers going back with that power play unit that just scored. Kelty and Coleman at the point with Greer, Bates, and O'Sullivan.
And quickly cleared by Rapana for North Dakota. Now the Terriers work it out. Kelty for Bates nicely. Picking up Greer and O'Sullivan at the line. Drops it for Greer. Across for O'Sullivan. It was in his skates. Out front, the puck pops loose, and Kovalevog alertly diving on it.
That's a tough pass for Mike Greer to get it across to Chris O'Sullivan. I would much rather have seen Greer shoot the puck. He's in a good scoring area. He's at the top of the face-off circle. Take the shot there. Watch this pass. It has to go through too many bodies to get over to Chris O'Sullivan, and if O'Sullivan gets the puck there, he's not in a real good position to shoot.
On his off wing.
On his off wing. I think Greer was in a better position to either shoot the puck himself or move it to someone else.
Nice job by Coleman to keep it in at the line. Kelty takes a return pass, closes in, shot, and the rebound wide. Kelty presses in from the point. Now Bates, last minute of the first period. Terriers still with 1:20 on the power play. And again, North Dakota cannot clear. A heavy hit on the boards, and now they do. Tom Noble will shovel and leave for Jeff Kelty. Down to 45 seconds in the period. Terriers looking for their first 2-goal lead of the night. They have 2 power play goals already. Pandolfo didn't put enough on that pass to LaChance, and it's cleared by Ryan Johnson. Now Bob LaChance with a little opening. Against the boards, he drops it for Pandolfo out front to right, and he couldn't control it, and it went off his stick and over the glass, so the face-off will come back outside the line. 23 seconds to go in the period, and Alita Hateyan is ringside.
I have to tell you, the North Dakota coach has been pretty quiet up until that point just there when the puck was down in the Boston University offensive end down there. He went nuts on the referee. Couldn't hear what he was saying, but he wasn't too happy about what was being called or not being called. Back to you upstairs.
All right, Alita, last 23 seconds of this second period. The Terriers still on the man advantage, and they will have 25 seconds of carryover power play unless they can convert here.
And Matt Wright had an absolute golden opportunity right there to just collect that pass and put it into the open net. It looked like Wright tried to tip it. Instead, I think he could have just stopped the puck and then shot it in. He had a wide open net.
Terriers maybe will get one more chance here from center ice. Kelleher trying to collect, he can't, and now True flips it down, and that may about do it for the period. You got to watch out for Tom Fillion here in the corner going into forecheck in the closing seconds of the period. Racing out with it, Doug Wood, but he's running out of time, and the Terriers will not be able to get another shot off. So BU, on the strength of that late second period power play goal by Mike Greer in a back and forth second period, have a 5-4 advantage after 2, and BU will start the third period with 25 seconds of power play time. We'll be back to Walter Brown Arena a little bit later on, but now back to the studio for Howard Green. Back here at Walter Brown Arena, about set to drop the puck for the third period, and Mike, obviously the concern for Travis Roy. We heard the update a moment ago. Serious but stable condition at Boston City Hospital. As far as the game is concerned, the Terriers getting a lot of production out of their big guns. 2 goals and an assist for Chris O'Sullivan, 3 assists for Sean Bates, a goal and an assist for Mike Greer. They have a 5-4 lead. It's interesting. This is not the kind of game North Dakota wanted to play. They gave up only 4 goals in their first 2 games.
Right. Well, you know, but they're in the game. I mean, they're only down a goal right now, and they're not playing very badly. Boston University seems like they've been able to capitalize on whatever little scoring chances they have. I don't see it. I think I agree with what David was talking about. You know, I think the Terriers, maybe from all the hoopla at the beginning of the game, as well as the situation with Travis and the fact that North Dakota has been pretty good defensively, smothering them, not giving them many chances, frustrating the Terriers a little. But I don't see that jump in the Terriers that I've seen in the past. One shift, maybe 2 shifts, but they haven't been able to maintain a lot of pressure. And I think that's one thing they're going to have to do in this period, is to not get just one line going, get all 4 lines going and go to the net harder. They haven't been aggressive going to the net. And I think this team, in order to be successful, has to do that. You can't just score all the pretty goals. You have to get to the net. You have to be aggressive. And the Terriers haven't been that consistently in the first 2 periods.
Give North Dakota credit. Coach Dean Blaze knew that there was a possibility that his team could get blown out of here if they lose control early, but they didn't. They were able to retake the lead. Let's recheck the scoring now in the second period. There's Dean Blaze, the head coach of the Fighting Sioux. It was 2-2 after 1. The North Dakota Fighting Sioux retook the lead at 6:35 on that goal by Matt Henderson, the assist to Bill True. But less than a minute later, Mike Sylvia, unassisted, able to tie it up. Sylvia's first goal of the season, tying it at 3. Then on his own rebound, Jay Pandolfo, the captain of the Terriers this season, also unassisted at 13:15, gives the Terriers a 4-3 lead. Only to be tied up again moments later after Dan Ronan went off for a tripping penalty. Ian Calais, the high-scoring freshman, getting his 3rd goal in 3 games so far this season at 15:40. But then right after that goal, Mike, could be what turns out to be a key play in this game. Darcy Matani takes a silly tripping penalty in the neutral zone, and on the power play, Mike Greer, all alone out front, able to flip in the pass from Chris O'Sullivan. Sean Bates also with the assist, and BU with the lead. And here it is.
Let's look at Mike Greer's going again. Chris Sullivan does a nice job of finding Greer, not the first time, but the second time, and nobody picks up Mike Greer's stick. You can stand next to him, but that doesn't do any good. You've got to get your stick on him and pick up his stick. You know, you talked about Dean Blaze before the game. When we talked to him, he said, if BU is not ready to play, we can beat them. And if they play just so-so, we can beat them. And right now, I think he's in a pretty good position where for 2 periods, the Terriers have not played, I think, as well as they're capable of playing. And his team, Fighting Sioux of North Dakota, are in the hockey game with an only 1-goal deficit.
Of course, the X factor here too, Mike, is that the rest of the Terrier players have got to be thinking about Travis Roy. We do not know if the players have received the same word that we have about Roy's condition. So all they can do now is continue to play the game and hope for the best. The word from Boston City Hospital on Travis Roy. The Terriers forechecking to open this 3rd period as they continue on the power play for 25 seconds, and Kelleher's shot is speared by Kovalovog, and that leaves just 1 second on the power play.
Oh, that's a nice play by Chris Kelleher. Again, we talk about it, and we'll talk about it a lot during the year. When in doubt, get a shot on net. Things can happen. That particular time, nobody was in front of the net, and Kovalovog was able to see the shot all the way, made a nice glove save.
Shots in that second period, by the way. BU had 13 for a 2-period total of 24. North Dakota with 7 for a 2-period total of 16. North Dakota, of course, likes to play that defensive style, even though they have a lot more speed and finesse players than they've had in recent years. But they did not allow very many shots in those 2 games last weekend at Northern Michigan. Of course, Northern Michigan not figured to be one of the contending teams in the WCHA. We should keep that in mind. Dane Litke, who's not been that involved in the offense so far, almost had a pass across to Zerke there, but it did not connect. And the Terriers control. Kelleher. And he will flip in as the Terriers go for a change. BU player Drury dumped in the North Dakota zone. He goes all the way into the net. Fans looking for a call. Back the other way comes Nick Nemeko, the assistant captain. Drury is still hung up in the net. He got his skate and caught in the net behind Kovalovog.
Actually, it looks like it's his helmet is stuck in the net. Chris Drury.
Oh, it's Walsh.
Brendan Walsh, sorry. Okay, Brendan Walsh got his helmet stuck in the net. Couldn't get out. Watch Brendan Walsh. And you see him going in there now. He tries to go out, and Something's holding me back. Oh, it reminds me of the old Gong Show when the guy used to put his box on his head and said, "I can't get this box off my head." Remember that one?
Something like that could only happen to a freshman.
That's right.
Terrier's able to work it out. At center ice, Greer kicks it ahead into the North Dakota zone. Back for Kevin Rapana. Watch out for him and Greer battling in the corner. They've had an ongoing discussion all night that dates back to the offseason. Back the other way come the Sioux, and clearing it in, Darcy Matani, who has a goal tonight. In the corner, Corey Johnson battling for it. Kelty fighting as well, and now finally it's John Coleman. Off glass and out, looking for Bates. It doesn't quite work. Mitch Vig flips it back into the BU zone, and Coleman with it. Forechecking is Corey Johnson. Kelty back for Coleman. It's a nice move to get out of the zone for O'Sullivan. The breakaway for Bates. And it's stopped by Kavalabog. Looked like he got a pad on it.
I'm not quite sure if Sean Bates got all of that shot.
O'Sullivan circling in the zone, but he's not able to get the shot away. Well, the Terriers have been trying to free those forwards for breakaways all night. They finally got one for Sean Bates. And he was all alone on Kavalabog. Ronan clears it up nicely for Drury. Possible 3-on-2 with Walsh and Greer. Drury turns Murphy. Drury in the circle out front, and Greer can't get his stick down, and now there'll be a penalty called on North Dakota.
Yeah, that's going to be a good call on number 9, Ryan Johnson. Interference. Mike Greer going to the net. Chris Drury tries to make a nice pass to Greer, and penalty called right there on Ryan Johnson. Let's go down to a leader right now.
We just saw Sean Bates get that breakaway down there. They've been working on that all night. I talked to Blaze McDonald, the assistant coach, a little bit earlier, and he was telling me how Sean Bates is one of the fastest players in the league, and they're looking to send him as much as they can, like they did just there. So starting to work for them. Maybe he'll put one of the pucks in the net. Back to you upstairs.
Well, he couldn't ask for a better chance, and now here's the penalty.
Watch Chris Drury. Now watch Mike Greer, number 12. Drury's going to try to get the puck to Greer, and there you see the interference call.
Wow.
By number 9, Ryan Johnson.
And Greer calling for the penalty. Mike was right on the play. He knew there was going to be a penalty.
That breakaway by Sean Bates looked like he was trying to go 5-hole, but Bates, he shoots the puck real well. That time, I don't think he quite got all of it.
Wood and Kelleher at the points. Pandolfo, Drury, and LaChance up front. And North Dakota clears. Tom Noble has to flip it away from the onrushing forechecker. And now Wood winds it around for Pandolfo. Up quickly for LaChance. And back for Kelleher. Terriers try to set up. It's Drury. The open wing, Pandolfo. He misfired over the net.
Oh, Jake Pandolfo just tried to steer that into the top corner. Almost got it, just hit it a little high.
LaChance. Now for Kelleher to Wood. Wood flips it. It's tipped. Score! That might have been deflected by a North Dakota player.
I think they're going to call that back. They're going to call Chris Drury for a high stick. Drury was the guy that tried to tip it and did tip it in, but they're going to say that Drury had a high stick, and from this angle it looked like he did. You don't see that much argument right now.
Well, it was definitely deflected by something. I thought maybe it went off a defenseman.
Here's the shot.
Well,
yeah, I think that was a little high right there. Chris Drury tried to get again another look at it. Here's the shot from the point. Now watch Drury's stick.
it was at about shoulder height, Mike.
Still tough to tell from that angle, but I think it was a good call by the official.
So that moves the face-off down to the BU zone, more importantly. And the penalty time has come off the clock, so there's going to be a little delay here while they reestablish the penalty time. There should be, let's see.
You can do this.
We're 2:59 into the period, so there should be 38 seconds gone in the penalty, so it should be 1:22.
Wow, that's pretty good. I was terrible in math, so I can never tell that. There's a look at the attendance. Not bad for a building that seats 3,600.
Don't tell the fire marshal.
No, there's more room here. People don't know that. There are new seats that we put in.
I see. Well, every seat is filled, and there are more people besides that, I can tell you that. This place is just jammed. Of course, the Terriers always draw well here, and it is a distinct home advantage playing in this building. It is so loud, and of course it was even more so tonight with the pregame celebration. The celebration atmosphere deflated considerably with the injury to Travis Roy early in the hockey game. Off the face-off again, a great chance for North Dakota, but the shot by Darcy Matani is stopped by Noble. They've got the penalty time back up on the board, so everything back the way it should be, and the Terriers resume the power play as Pandolfo wheels it in. Kovalovog being challenged by Drury, and now LaChance has it. Bob LaChance wheeling with room. In front, now cleared. Coleman trying to return the pass from Kelty, and Coleman keeps it in. Behind the net, Drury. North Dakota back in the box in front of Kovalovog. Coleman takes the long-distance shot. Waffle glove save by Kovalovog. Kelty jammed along the boards, and he can't keep it in. You see the time remaining on the power play, and Coleman retreating for BU. For Pandolfo, now to Kelty. Possible 3-on-2 if they hurry. LaChance and Drury coming up. This is Drury holding. Now back for Wood. He'll take it, and it's blocked. He's able to get it right back. Pandolfo across. Drury trying to feed it in front to LaChance. Blocked beautifully twice by the North Dakota defense.
Two excellent plays by North Dakota.
Wood. 10 seconds on the power play. Pandolfo. And it's cleared by the Fighting Sioux. And that's going to about do it on the man advantage.
North Dakota, much better job, being a little more aggressive, getting out on the shooters. Terriers have to get your head up when you're shooting the puck. See who's coming down on you.
Chris O'Sullivan in the neutral zone gets jammed. And the play comes loose for North Dakota again. Bill True across the line offside with Ryan Johnson and Kevin Hoogstein. 15:26 to go, third period. BU leads it 5-4 at Walter Brown.
Here's a look at two nice plays by North Dakota. First of all, you watch the block by number 24, Corey Johnson, on the shot by Doug Wood. Johnson does a nice job, and then right here, talk about being aggressive. Number 23 wrapping it right on Chris Drury, and then watch the follow-up right there by number 20, Matani, over there forcing the Terriers to lose control of the puck. But a good job being aggressive that time by North Dakota.
Terriers ice the puck right off the faceoff, so now the draw will come to the left of Tom Noble. We have new digs here at Walter Brown Arena, and here we are up in section 3. My first apartment was smaller than this booth.
This is a pretty nice area. Look at all the comforts of home.
We have more room than we could
now
ever possibly use.
People can yell at us when they see us.
And you've been getting yelled at all night. We've had to sign some autographs up here and everything.
Well, I'm pretty popular.
Nomenko with the shot from the point, and Noble is able to hold on and force the draw.
That's a nice save by Tommy Noble. A lot of times, boy, you get bodies in front of you, a lot of traffic, and all of a sudden a puck hits you in the chest, and that's what happened there. Everybody fighting for position, but Tommy Noble does a nice job of holding on to the puck.
Henderson trying to flip it behind the net. Noble clears that away. True now bangs it in. Noble flips it again. O'Sullivan can't get it out. He kept in this time by Brian Zerke. Henderson, who has a goal tonight, behind the net for True. True hammered by Bates. Finally knocks him down. Puck still along the boards, and Bates finally digs it out. Little hitting behind the play as the Terriers work it out of the zone. Shane Johnson to O'Sullivan, again looking to send Bates, and it doesn't work. Boy, Dan Ronan is really getting into it now with Brian Zerke behind the play, and Zerke's going out as he just flattened Ronan. Zerke and Ronan were just trying to get untangled in the face-off circle, Mike, and I'm sure there were some words exchanged, and Zerke absolutely flattened Ronan when they both got up.
Well, you know, I think he's going to call them both. One, Ronan could be called for a holding, but you know, one led to two in a situation like that. Now watch Ronan. I mean, there's some holding going on by both ends. Although Zerke's penalty was a little more obvious, what led Zerke to do that was the fact that I believe Ronan was holding his stick and holding on to him. So we're going to have both players for 2 minutes for what could be holding and what could be a cross-check, or interference.
Incidentally, we were talking about our new booth here at Walter Brown Arena. We should take a moment to thank and congratulate the construction crew and the engineering crew for putting all this together. They did a terrific job. And a great look here at Walter Brown Arena here on 68 Sports, our first of 25 hockey telecasts this year, including the Beanpot from the new Fleet Center.
You think the Fleet Center has a nice box like this?
Yes, way up high.
Oh.
Way up high. They got a real nice box for us.
We got spoiled with the old garden in the position.
That's right. The Terriers with the puck off the draw. It's Kelty. Now for Coleman. And through center ice. Ryan Johnson almost put himself offside. And Johnson almost gets the steal. Swept away by Kelty, but kept in. And the tip score! Oh, what a great tip in front. The shot from the point by Kevin Rapana. And I believe it was Ryan Johnson who tipped it home.
Oh, that's
No, it
real
was,
nice.
it was Kevin Hoogstein.
Hoogstein coming in off the side of the net. A little late picking him up. I'm not sure. I think it was Jeff Kelty. Watch Hoogstein right here. There you see him at the bottom of the picture coming into the play. Watch the tip. Boy, that's an awfully nice tip right there. Nobody picked up Hoogstein as he was coming from the side. He's able to get his stick on the shot, and this game is tied.
On a 4-on-4 goal by the Sioux. Kevin Hoogstein's first of the year. 14 minutes to play, and there's going to be a penalty on North Dakota as Kelleher is being hacked by Teeter Wynn from behind. Wynn is going out.
That's what I talk about. That's a lazy penalty. That's a bad penalty. Those kind of penalties drive coaches crazy. No reason for Teeter Wynn to be doing that. He could have just skated up next to him. That's a bad penalty.
Wynn for slashing at 6:07, putting the Terriers on the power play, and we go to Alita Hetayan.
We just got word down here that Coach Jack Parker of the Boston University Terriers will be giving a press conference after the game in regards to Travis Roy, who is the player that was taken away. His condition is serious but in stable condition at City Hospital. So that last word is that Jack Parker, the coach here at Boston University, will give a press conference after the game to update us all on the condition of Travis Roy. Back to you upstairs.
All right, Alita, thanks very much. The Terriers now to go on their 6th power play of the night. They are 2 for 5 so far, and this one, Mike, a 4-on-3 advantage. Chris O'Sullivan waits. Now into the corner for Pandolfo. To O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, Pandolfo, John Coleman, and Bob LaChance. Working this 4-on-3. This is LaChance. Fans on his first pass. Now to O'Sullivan. Boy, the Fighting Sioux are just diving all over the ice.
You have to have a little more patience. That's all. The Terriers, you know they're going to go down. Fake a pass. Watch someone go down.
O'Sullivan underneath to Pandolfo, trying to jam it into the post, and it's cleared away.
The Terriers have forwards out there now that have experience and have very good patience. I wouldn't be surprised to see them fake the shot, see somebody walk around a wide open player.
Coleman loses his edge and the puck. Numenko clears it.
Unless, of course, something like that happens and you don't get the puck in the zone to set it up.
So O'Sullivan will restart with Corey Johnson up front forechecking for North Dakota. Now for Pandolfo. A minute to go on the power play. LaChance to O'Sullivan, tipped out front by Pandolfo, but didn't get all the way to Kavalabog, I don't think. Back up top to O'Sullivan. There's the fake you were talking about. The pass to Wood. His shot is blocked. Wood now. Down low, LaChance looking for Pandolfo. They've been trying that pass all during this power play. Pandolfo again in the corner. Out front, Greer has it just tipped away by Dane Litke.
Nice play by Litke getting a piece of that. That was a goal.
5-on-4 now as the original Coincidental Miners are back, and LaChance scores! Great pass from Mike Greer in a crowd.
Well, that particular time, that ended up getting deflected in by number 4, Dan Litke. We talked about Litke earlier deflecting one wide. That time, I believe LaChance's shot hit his stick and tipped up over Kavalabog, and the Terriers with a power play goal. Here's the first play by Litke in order to send the puck wide. Now here's some nice puck movement. Now watch Bobby LaChance. Mike Greer's going to get the puck. Watch LaChance come into the picture. The shot. And from that angle, it looked like it might have got a piece of Litke's stick. Let's watch again. There's Greer. That's still tough to tell. I wasn't quite sure, but nice play. Nice goal.
That goal by LaChance chipped it into the upper corner, and the Terriers have had a couple of goals like that here tonight. Greer's 5th goal of the game was similar to that.
That was a nice setup by Mike Greer behind the net, getting it out to LaChance.
6-5, the Terriers have a 1-goal lead again. 12 minutes to go in regulation time. First goal of the season for Bob LaChance as the Sioux try to come right back. In front, the centering pass to Jay Panzer. He can't get his stick down. John Hines for BU is jammed. It's LaChance from Greer at 7:45 from Mike Greer. That's his 3rd point of the night. A goal and 2 assists. And in front. Back and forth we go, Mike. It's incredible. There doesn't seem to be any momentum in this game at all. The teams are just back and forth all night long. In the neutral zone, the Terriers, Drury picks up Walsh, tried to drop a pass, but Coleman couldn't get there in time. Coming down to 11 minutes to go in regulation. 6-5 BU. The shots now 28-18 in favor of the Terriers, so North Dakota's been highly productive on their shots. Drury gets hauled down, feeds it in deep. Kovalovog way out of the net on Sylvia. Coleman into the empty net. He tried to flip it on, and nice play by Rapana to get back and block it.
Although the Terriers have had that many shots, I still don't believe they've had that many real great scoring opportunities. They've capitalized on some chances when North Dakota has left men open, but other than that, they really haven't forced the play and pressured North Dakota for the whole game.
Here comes Drury picking up Sylvia and Walsh. Drops it for Walsh. He can't reach it. And back the other way comes Teeter Wynn. Wynn across the line, checked by Kelleher, and O'Sullivan comes back to help out. Teeter Wynn took that penalty, the slash, a moment ago that resulted in the power play goal by LaChance. Now O'Sullivan in front, Bates, save Kovalovog, and he covers up the rebound with Mike Greer barreling in on him.
Well, I talk about some of the chances. Sean Bates has probably had the best scoring chances, and another nice save by Kovalovog on Sean Bates. Second breakaway he's had on him. Let's go down to Alida.
Down here on the bench, I have to tell you, it's the pressure is getting a little bit higher, as you can hear it all around me. Jack Parker, with 10 minutes left in the game, wants to put it away for his players. When we talked earlier today, he said it was going to come down to these final moments and conditioning for his players. So we'll see what happens in the next 10 minutes. But both coaches are screaming at their players right about now. Back to you upstairs.
This is the 4th time tonight that BU has had a 1-goal lead. Neither team has ever had a 2-goal lead in this game. And the shot by Henderson, a flashy pad save by Noble. Henderson bidding for his 2nd goal of the night. 3-on-1 possible for the Terriers. Bates holding in a great sliding defensive play by the veteran Nick Noble.
That was awfully nice right there. You're right. That's a veteran play. Sean Bates trying to cut across. That was a 2-on-1. Kind of nice being up here, being able to look at what replays you might have if there's a little pushing and shoving.
Well, Noble tried to cover the puck, and as so often happens, a little discussion after the puck is frozen.
We'll get back to that point later with Sean Bates.
9:32 to go, 3rd period. BU leads at 6-5. We'll be back.
Here's a great play by Nick Nomenko, the senior defenseman. Sean Bates in a 2-on-1. One thing you don't want to do is go towards the defenseman. You see Chris O'Sullivan coming down the left side, but a great play. Bates fakes the shot. Nomenko goes down and intercepts the puck as Bates tries to cut back. As I said, it's great being out up here, Doug, and being able to look at the replay. If Sean Bates had to do that over again, he might have wanted to take the puck just a little wide right, let Nomenko come to him, then slide it over to Chris O'Sullivan. But credit Nomenko with a great play there. Parker not very happy with the call and don't have all of it right now. That's what you have, I believe.
Well, the minor penalties are on Doug Wood for BU and Brian Zerke for North Dakota. They have put Doug Wood's penalty on the board, but they haven't put Zerke's penalty up there. And Jack was talking with the officials about something. I don't know what. Well, now a second BU player has gone in the box as Bill Pierce has gone in. So that's why there's only 1 penalty on the board. Wood gets a double minor for hitting after the whistle. That's why. So North Dakota on the power play here. 5-on-4 with the double minor on Doug Wood for hitting after the whistle. And the icing call against North Dakota. Let's see what happened. This all started when Noble tried to freeze the puck. There's Wood and Zerke.
Boy, it looks like we see them both pushing and shoving. I didn't see the second or first infraction against Doug Wood. It looked like it could have easily been called, both of them, just 2 minutes rather than 2 extra on Wood. I didn't see where he committed the second hit after the whistle.
If you called a double minor in that situation, shouldn't the second one be called hitting after the whistle?
Did he blow 2 whistles, though? Hitting after the whistle and hitting after the second hit.
1:30 to go on the North Dakota power play. They trail by a goal. Bates trying to keep it down at the North Dakota end, cannot.
This is where Sean Bates is very dangerous when he's killing a penalty. He's very clever offensively, and he's got such great speed. You have to watch him out there.
True, Hoogstein, and Calais, the forward line. This is Calais, and he's broken up. Bates will skate it off and flip it down. Down to 1 minute to go on the double minor to Doug Wood. Coleman behind his own net. Up the boards for Drury and out, and Drury has a chance here. 2-on-1 with Sylvia. Chris Drury holds and gets broken up by Murphy. These North Dakota defensemen have spent an awful lot of time on the ice in this one. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Really no shots on goal in this man advantage for North Dakota to this point.
If anything, the Terriers have had more of the position.
Panzer, the freshman, in front. The shot, Hoogstein denied by Noble. And I believe we had a North Dakota player skate through the crease. So that'll bring the faceoff outside the line. And it was Jesse Bull, the other freshman there, number 15, skating in front of Tom Noble. 7:45 to go in the third.
There's a look at a nice rush right there. Now watch as we can just barely see right there. There you go. Good call. Good pictures, guys. That's called in the crease.
It's also called spraying the goaltender, which if it happens after the whistle this year can be a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike. Last few seconds ticking away on the North Dakota power play. They've had just that one shot a moment ago by Hoogstein, handled easily by Noble, but the Sioux still have control. Fillion in the corner. Checked by Kelty. Now Panzer with it. Panzer is double teamed by Walsh and Coleman, who loses his stick. And Coleman tries to throw the puck out of the zone. He can't. And it comes over the line anyway as Littke can't hold it in. The penalty over. BU back at full strength. Although Wood is still in the penalty box serving the second minor. And the puck chipped into the crowd.
The ball
by John Cole. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I got that football game tomorrow.
You're getting the game ready tomorrow. That's okay. That's called for once a year. The ball.
I used it up early.
The ball that went in the stands that hit that fan in the head, I hope he thinks it was a ball and not a solid rubber puck. You look at Dean Blaze, who has to be maybe a little disappointed he's down a goal, but happy with the fact that his team has played very well as far as controlling the Terriers' offense. Although they've given up 6 goals, they have played well and they've been in the hockey game. With 7 minutes left to go, it's a good position to be in on the road.
Terriers trying to get out of the zone. They can't. Corey Johnson almost had an opportunity in the slot. Back comes Greer the other way. Was working 2-on-3 though, and Johnson came back beautifully. Great hustle play by Corey Johnson. It's offside at the BU line. Talking about Dean Blaze, the coach of the Fighting Sioux. We mentioned earlier he played on the 1971 Minnesota team that lost to BU in the national championship game for the Terriers' first national title. Dean Blaze remembered a lot about that game when I asked him about it before tonight's game. His line mates were Mike Antonovich and Craig Sarner, who played on the Olympic team later on.
I played with both Sarner and Antonovich in the World Championships. 2 great players. Antonovich,
he actually got hurt.
Player of the Year.
Right, and Antonovich actually got hurt in the semifinals against Harvard that year and did not play against BU. Down to 6:25 in regulation time. BU nursing a 6-5 lead. Sean Bates almost had another chance. Back comes Johnson, Corey Johnson, the older brother of Ryan for North Dakota. The drop pass doesn't work, and Greer misses the connection with Bates, but the Terriers wanted to get a change. The icing waved off. 6 minutes to go in the game, and the Terriers keep it in. Pierce out front, fans on the shot, and he had Matt Wright in better position in front. Kelleher flips it out of the zone. Nick Namenko The veteran assistant captain back to touch it, and before he does touch it, it's called for the icing.
Boy, great scoring opportunity there for Billy Pierce. Pierce and both he and Matt Wright going to the net. Pierce ready to shoot the puck and just kind of fanned on it and didn't get any shot on goal.
Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon at 1. Well, before we do that, we'll get to the replay.
Here's the play we were just talking about. Watch Billy Pierce. He walks to the net, puck's rolling just a little, but then he goes to shoot it, and oh, I forgot something. There's supposed to be a puck at the end of that stick when you shoot right there. But I think Billy got his head up a little too quick, didn't have control.
Now, don't forget, we will be dealing with a ball tomorrow. It'll be football. The Canine Classic, the 4th annual. Boston University and the Northeastern Huskies. I'll be with Sean Grandy for the play-by-play of that one. Paul Lewis will join us as the Terriers host the Huskies live at Nickerson Field, only on WABU TV, channel 68. Up through the middle, it's Bill Pierce picking up Matt Wright, 2-on-2. Pierce leaves it in the middle. Hines misses the net. John Hines tried to center and couldn't. John Hines looking for his first career goal. Had a great chance there in front. This line stays on. They've gotten quite a bit of ice time. All 4 lines have played pretty good minutes for both of these teams here tonight. It's a little warm in here tonight.
And it's the first game for the Terriers. So with the situation of being the first game, as well as the situation with Travis Roy, a lot of penalties, power play, penalty killing situations, it's tough to get a focus in terms of all your lines and your rotations.
5:14 left to go, regulation time. BU 6, North Dakota 5. You see the situation here at Walter Brown Arena. 5:14 to play. BU nursing the 1-goal lead. After the game, Howard Green and Dave Silk back in the studio with highlights and a scoring summary of this one. And also, we will be carrying live Jack Parker's press conference from Walter Brown Arena on the condition of young freshman Travis Roy, who was hurt in the first period. And now we have another BU player down as Brendan Walsh, another freshman, goes into the boards hard. And there will be a penalty here on North Dakota.
That was a situation where I think it was number 3, I'm not sure of the number, number 2, Curtis Murphy, just looked like he got a piece of Brendan Walsh and interfered with him. Watch it again. Here comes Brendan Walsh into the picture. Let's see if he gets a piece of him. Yeah, he pushed him a little.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if,
oh, my.
Well, I don't know if he pushed him that hard.
Is Brendan Walsh in the School of Acting here at BU?
He got a piece of Brendan, but I know Brendan's a pretty tough player, so I'm not quite sure if Brendan didn't do a nice job there, but you can't. It's an icing. It's automatic icing. There's no reason to even touch him whatsoever. So that's not a smart play on Murphy's part. It's an icing penalty. Leave it alone.
Still should be a full acting scholarship now for Brendan Walsh. That's a terrific play by a freshman.
And he jumped up into the glass, too, so he didn't hit the full boards.
So the Terriers, with a 1-goal lead, now have a power play late here in the 3rd period. Wood in the corner looking for Pandolfo. It goes to LaChance. Behind the net, he's scuffling with Litke. And finally, Johnson comes away with it, but Pandolfo ties him up. Back behind the net to LaChance. Drury for Kelleher. Kelleher now for Doug Wood. He's got a lane to the net. Saved by Kovalovog. Kelleher keeps it in. And now it will be cleared. Ryan Johnson falls, but is able to get up and clear it. Ryan Johnson and Corey Johnson, the brothers, both on the ice, killing this penalty. Drury for BU. Down low, LaChance. He has Pandolfo open, scores! At last, the Terriers have their 2-goal lead.
That's a very fine play by Bobby LaChance. Credit Pandolfo with doing a nice job of finishing off the pass. But Bobby LaChance, we talked about so many times throughout this game, the Terriers have had passes and shots blocked by North Dakota players. That time, LaChance does a real nice job of feeding it through. Nice play by Chris Drury, keeping the puck in the zone. Another smart play. Watch Drury here. Get it to LaChance. Now watch LaChance. Just as he's going down, finds the open man. Pandolfo does a nice job of not even wasting any time. He one-times it, but watch it. The play was made because Bobby LaChance had the patience to wait. As he started to go down, the pass was made across.
Counting down now, 4 minutes left to go in regulation time, and BU with a 7-5 lead. That's their 4th power play goal of the night, and for Jay Pandolfo, his 2nd goal of the game. Zerke across the line is broken up, and Noble will hold it for Coleman. Up the boards. Sean Bates tries to spring Mike Greer. He's trying to cut in alone, and Kovalevog comes out to stop it, rolls it in front of the crease, and knocked away by the Fighting Sioux. So I give Kovalevog full credit there, coming out to challenge Mike Greer. Barreling in.
Puck was just ahead of Greer. He couldn't quite catch up to it.
Let's go downstairs to Alita Haitayan.
I have to tell you right now, this is very exciting down here at the bench. This is one of those times where Coach Jack Parker expects his team to take control and win this game. They're up by 2 goals right now, and I can't tell you he'd have it any other way down here on the bench. Back up to you.
4 power play goals for BU tonight.
See, the puck just gets ahead of Mike Greer. Kovalevog, knowing and noticing it, does a nice job of coming out and taking the puck away from Greer, but just a little too far ahead of Greer, and Kovalevog did a nice job of getting to him.
And Jeff Kelty is going off for a penalty here. Here's the announcement. They call it roughing at 16:32, and so a big break for North Dakota here, as they're 2 goals down and they get a late power play chance. You see what they've done so far on the man advantage. Only 5 shots and 5 opportunities, and quickly cleared by Pandolfo. Coming down to 3 minutes to go in the game, 1:35 left on the power play for North Dakota, but here's LaChance ragging the puck beautifully all the way back to Doug Wood. The Terriers will try and play a little keep away, and now Wood flips it down. Wood skates off now, and Chris O'Sullivan comes on. Drury and Sylvia killing the penalty for the Terriers. Coleman and O'Sullivan also out there, and Coleman on the backhand. Lofts it off the boards, and Sylvia clears it, and here comes Drury and O'Sullivan 2-on-1. And Drury didn't quite put enough on that pass.
You got it, I got it, you got it.
Sylvia trying to break now. North Dakota not pressing the attack on this power play at all, Mike, and they're letting BU bottle them up in their own zone.
Well, that's something North Dakota had a difficult time with last year, was their power play, and evident again this evening. It's something you got to work on, a little time, a little more patience, a little more practice, but last year's power play wasn't effective, and so far this evening it has not been.
Well, including tonight, they are now 3 for 18 on the man advantage, and this looks like an even strength situation right here, as they aren't even getting the puck in the BU zone to set up. Sean Bates now pressed deep in the corner. Less than 2 minutes to go in the game, 20 seconds remaining on the power play. And across the line, Noble will cover up. And down to 15 seconds to go on the power play, and we get our first college hockey final score of the year to report. Providence beats Merrimack 4-1.
And Merrimack, a team that a lot of people are going to expect to have a good year, and yeah, it is only the first game, so don't worry about that, you Merrimack fans. But 4-1 at Merrimack. Good win for Providence.
15 seconds to go, and you see Toby Kovalevog heading for the bench, as with the man advantage already, Dean Blaze is going to roll the dice here. 2 goals down, and get a 6-4 advantage here in manpower. He's trying to decide who he wants to go out there. He'll stick with Curtis Murphy, the extra defenseman, so he'll have 4 forwards and 2 defensemen. Nomenko and Murphy will be back at the points. Bill True will take the faceoff for North Dakota. There's Bill. And now BU is going to call a timeout. North Dakota, by the way, used their timeout in the second period while we were on a break to talk over some strategy when this game was wide open and wild at both ends. And now Jack Parker uses his timeout with 1:42 to go.
That was interesting, Doug. At that time, North Dakota called a timeout. Boston University was on the power play. Dean Blaze brought his team over, had a nice meeting with them, and BU scored right after that. So not a good decision on Dean's timeout. But a situation right here, the Terriers They have 15 seconds left, so they can ice the puck right away. What you don't want to do after the power play is over is ice the puck and force a face-off in your own zone. Although they do have a 2-goal lead, it's wise just to keep the puck wide and get the puck out into the neutral zone area and let the clock run down from there. With a 2-goal lead, you lose this lead here in a situation like this, you're going to be in for a long season.
You saw the BU bench a moment ago. Jack Parker talking to the troops, and after the game he will be talking to the media about the condition of Travis Roy. And we will have that news conference for you live here at Walter Brown Arena during our post-game show. Also Howard Green and Dave Silk back at the studio with scores and highlights. So after the BU timeout, the Fighting Sioux will come out there on this 6-on-4 advantage. Teeter Wynn is out there, no surprise there. And so is Nick Nemenko. They are the two top returning scorers from a year ago. Wynn led the team last year with 49 points. And by the way, if you're wondering why he's called Teeter, that's not his name. It's a nickname. His real name is Fred. In fact, they call him Frederoff because of all of his silky moves in the offensive zone. But the nickname Teeter came when he was a toddler, and he used to kind of wobble
Teeter?
when he walked. Yeah.
Okay.
And it stuck. It's one of those names that just stuck. Wynn and LaChance on the faceoff, and now Wynn is tossed.
One thing the Terriers have not done a good job of this evening is faceoffs.
LaChance against Hoogstein now, and finally it's Zerke controlling it out front. Hoogstein can't get the shot away. He feeds it down low. Now back for Hoogstein. 6-on-4. The power play running out, but they've pulled the goaltender Kovalovog. The shot from the point by Murphy is wide. The penalty is over, so now it's a standard 6-on-5 pulled goalie situation. 1:20 to go in the game. Mike Greer trying to chase the puck, and Murphy beats him to it. And what do we have? Penalties behind the play, matching minors. Looks like it's going to be Brian Zerke for North Dakota and Bob LaChance for BU. Bob LaChance scored the power play goal to give the Terriers the lead at 6-5 in this third period. Then Jay Pandolfo with the insurance goal at 7-5. LaChance, by the way, had one game-winning goal. There's Bob. He had one game-winning goal last year. It came in the national championship game.
Well, if you're going to get a big goal, you might as well get it at the right time, Doug. This is a situation that shouldn't hurt the Terriers, obviously. You don't like to take penalties, but in a situation like this, if you're going to take someone off with you, that's not that much of a problem. Let's go downstairs.
Alita Hitayan is down by the BU bench.
Down here right now, Jack Parker is talking to his captain, telling him it's 5-on-4. Don't go for the icing call. We'll see what happens with 1:13 left. They're up by 2 goals, but I tell you, down on this bench, you would think that the Boston University team was down by 2 goals. By the way, Jack Parker is yelling at his team. Back to you upstairs.
Jack doesn't stop coaching.
Jack must have heard me say that, though. That's why, because I was talking about that. You don't want an icing. You just want to get the puck out of the zone into the neutral zone.
Again, Kovalovog out of the net, so it's a 5-on-4 situation in front. Nemenko misfires from the slot. 45 seconds left to go in the game. Greer aims for the empty net and misses. And this will be icing with 41 seconds left to go. Of course, a much more comfortable situation here for BU, Mike, leading by 2 rather than leading by 1, but still North Dakota getting their opportunities here.
I'll tell you, it's a good first game for Boston University. They face all the excitement and all the situations that happened during this particular game, and they were able to come from behind, get the lead, and hold on to it. North Dakota, credit them. They come in here, they did a nice job. It wasn't a shootout per se, because there weren't a lot of up and down plays, but North Dakota did a nice job of playing some good, solid defensive hockey.
Nemenko is blocked at the point by Drury, and he may have a chance at the empty net. He gives it up to Pandolfo for the hat trick.
Oh, that's a nice play by Chris Drury. That's a team player right there. That's a team player right there. He's got Pandolfo going to the net, trying to get the hat trick. Drury had a wide open net himself. And the fans appreciating the hat trick, not with hats, but with megaphones that were given out tonight. I guess that might be the last time we'll give out megaphones at a game. But
better megaphones than hockey pucks, I guess.
A hat trick by Pandolfo, and a pretty play by Chris Drury, and an unselfish play by Chris Drury. As Pandolfo, when he shot it into the net, it was deflected up by Curtis Murphy. Murphy made a nice play, almost knocked the shot down.
Mike, the other night, BU played their only exhibition game of the preseason against the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. That was last Saturday night here. And they absolutely ran them out of the building. The game was over in about the first 5 minutes, and it was 12-0 the final. Pandolfo had a hat trick in that game also. But now he has a hat trick in a game that counts. I think everybody after the game Saturday night was saying, well, what did we learn? Really nothing. So what do we learn here tonight?
Well, I think we learned, let's take another look at, we learned we have some unselfish hockey players on this team. But I think we learned that, you know, in a tough game, in a tough situation, this team was able to battle and come out with a victory. You see another look at the goal. And I'll tell you what was big about Pandolfo's hat trick again. Here's a kid we talked about at the beginning of the game. He missed a lot of last season. He's the captain. He's an important part of the success of this team this year, and he had a great game this evening. And I think in order for this team to be successful throughout the year, Jay Pandolfo is going to have to come to the forefront. So a good effort and a game like this, a Terrier team that lost some very important players, not only skilled players on the ice, but locker room and leaders. So it's curious how a team will rally the first game, a tough game in a building at home against a team that's playing very well against them without Jobert, Thornton, Prendergast, Brennan, Lena, Rouse, Sherlovsky, all playing minor league hockey right now. But how is the team going to respond if they get behind? They got behind and they came back. So I think it's a good character test early in the season for the Terriers, and I think Jack will be happy with the play. A little sloppy, but it's a victory.
If you weren't with us at the opening of the telecast, the fathers of the top 4 guys on that list, the first 4 guys on that list, seniors on last year's Terrier team, the fathers helped to raise the banners signifying the Hockey East Championship and the Beanpot Championship. And then it was Athletic Director Gary Strickler and Associate Head Coach Blaise McDonald raising the National Championship banner as you look at a reflective Jack Parker on the bench.
Well, you know, I think I know Jack well enough right now, and I think his thoughts right now are with Travis Roy. This game is over and done with, and there are much more important things to be dealt with right now. And hopefully, when Jack gets to the hospital today, that things will be a little better than they were a little while ago.
The final 20 seconds here, and the fans will count it down as the Terriers will put win number 1 in the book here on opening night. Dane Litke with 10 to go. Centers, doesn't connect. North Dakota keeps it in, but the fans are finishing it off here. 8-5, the Terriers win the opener. They get the job done on the ice, and now certainly the focus shifts to the condition of Travis Roy. And we will be back at Walter Brown Arena live for Jack Parker's news conference downstairs on Travis's condition at Boston City Hospital. But first, let's send it back to the studio to Howard Green and Dave Silk.
Present time, and that's all I'd like to say right now.
What are the chances that it changes, this circumstance changes the paralysis that he's now experiencing?
Well, anything can happen, and it's too early to tell for sure, but the statistics on this type of injury are not good. And that's all I can say right now.
How is his family?
His family's been informed. They're at the hospital, and we've sat and all his family is down there to support him.
Doctor, one more time, could you just go through it just for the record to make sure we have it?
It's a fracture of his 4th cervical vertebra with complete paralysis below that level at the present time, and further testing would be necessary. He's still in spinal cord shock, and anything can happen in the next few days, but the statistics on this type of injury are not good.
For the layman, how much time should elapse before you really say there's absolutely positive no chance of recovery or something like this?
Well, as far as major recovery, usually in the first couple of days, but after that, usually you can get changes of levels. In other words, he can get some recovery in certain levels below the C4 level after that.
So you have to kind of wait till the spine
Right, and he will require surgery at some point.
Doctor, how is he doing? Does he know what's going on right now?
Yes, he does. He's been conscious through the whole thing.
Did he ever lose consciousness?
It didn't seem like he did. When I got out there 15 or 20 seconds after it occurred, he was conscious. So he's always been stable, breathing well, and his circulatory status has been fine. So.
Sir, you said the 4th bone, literally the
Yeah.
4th?
There's seven vertebrae in the neck, and the cervical vertebra, and he fractured the 4th one.
Is it point to roughly what area that
It's right about the middle of the neck.
Okay, thank you. Just to give us
Okay.
some perspective.
Okay? That's right.
Thank you.
That was Dr. Tony Skepsis, one of the team doctors for the Boston University Athletic Department, and you heard the word fractured fourth cervical vertebra with paralysis for now below that point from the neck down, and obviously further testing and further word to come perhaps, and there's no way to tell in terms of the prognosis as we get a look at some of the family members and friends of Travis Roy after that just ugly crash into the boards shortly after the Terriers had scored the first goal of this hockey game, and it just took all of the emotion and fan excitement. It just drained it right out of the building, Mike.
Well, I'll tell you, boy, he's a great kid, and Dave still kind of talked about it. It's a physical game, and you know things like that can happen, but when it does, it's an absolute tragedy, and we hope that our prayers are with him, and hope that some good things can happen in the next day or so. But it was a strange kind of a play, and it wasn't like it wasn't a fluke. It was just finishing your check, and he just hit it the wrong position. Let's just hope he's better.
Well, obviously we'll be following this situation, and I'm sure we'll probably try and get a further update even during tomorrow's football broadcast from Nickerson Field. We will take a break and come back with more here at Walter Brown Arena. The Terriers win it over North Dakota by a score of 8-5.